Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Talks. Hope you're all well on this Friday evening. The weekend has officially begun. Yes. First of all, just to talk about what happened on the channel today. Cheryl obviously did her reviews of the last two episodes. If you haven't checked them out, please do. But guess what I did after she finished her stream and we cooked a little bit of dinner? I decided to sit down. Yeah, some of you will call me crazy. I decided to sit down and watch the 3 episodes of Doctor Who Flux again. And I will say, if you watch the 3 episodes side by side, well, you watch them back to back. I have to say it's less confusing. Maybe BBC dropped the ball here and didn't drop it all, as was rumored by some people out there. I knew they wouldn't do it anyway, but maybe it would have been the thing to do, because if you watch them one after the other, the story seems to make a lot more sense. Yes, there's still parts that are confusing, but overall, you're going to get the general gist of what's going on. So, that's what I did after Cheryl's stream. If you haven't checked out Cheryl's stream, please do. It was a great stream. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. And she will be back next week to review Village of the Angels. So yeah, check that out. And of course, we will have our watch along Tardis Zone panel where we will be discussing the latest episode. Yes. So listen, folks, I'm not going to be on for long. Because I've literally only gotten 3.5 hours sleep. I'm actually surviving right now because I've had 3 cups of coffee and I've had a can of energy drink, and I'm going to be opening up the other one now in a few minutes after I have my coffee. Yeah, so I'm actually running on empty here, but as I said, we'll be only going an hour or so. So if you want to come on, so what we're going to do is, normally we take a look forward to what episode is next, but we're not going to do that this week. What I'd like to do is, I'd like to talk about, I had a very interesting, I wouldn't call it a Twitter debate as such, because, you know, they didn't really debate. But I want to talk about Doctor Who canon, because it's quite funny the other side, you know. On one hand, you know, they're saying canon doesn't matter, but then they try so hard to fit in these Morbius doctors, or so-called Morbius doctors, obviously, and all the other silly red-nosed doctors and stuff like that into canon. And then on the other hand, they say that canon doesn't exist. So basically what I want to ask you guys, anybody that comes on, is there Doctor Who canon? And do you believe that these Morbius faces are actually doctors? And also, what doctors are canon to you and what doctors aren't canon? So if you'd like to come on and get involved in this conversation, please let me know in the chat right now. As I said, I'm only going for an hour, and I'm going to be strict on this because I'm basically running on empty here, folks. But I wanted to go live tonight and do a little stream, because we do go live every Friday anyway. So I wanted to do, I didn't want to let anybody down. So we're here. So Tim says all doctors are canon. Yeah, but here's the question: is Morbius, are they doctors, or is it more he was fighting Morbius? Also, in this post, they made who else did they make canon? They made the Red Nose Day, those parody things that they did years ago, canon as well in their own little canon. But apparently, then when they were called out on it, canon doesn't exist. So that's why I'm having this conversation tonight. It doesn't matter whether you think Whittaker is the Doctor or not, Lee. She is the 13th Doctor. She is part of canon. So, you can dismiss the fact that she's the 13th Doctor. That's fine, fair enough. Fans have been doing that for years with other things within the fandom. But she is the 13th Doctor, and she is part of canon. My question is all the other nonsense Doctors that these fans are talking about, including the Timeless Child, are they Doctor Who canon? Are they the Doctor? And that's the discussion that we are going to be having tonight. So if you want to come on, please let me know, and I will bring you on. If not, this is going to be the shortest Tardis Zone that we've ever had. Tardis Zone talks, I should say. So if you want to come on and have that discussion, please do. Let me know. Let me know in the chat, guys. I want to get as many of you on as I possibly can. Just rewatched Evil of the Daleks. Course of the Fatal Death Doctors are not canon. Well, they've been put in this particular thread by someone on Twitter. I called them out as usual. I was actually tagged in it. And then I decided, well, I'm going to have a piece of this and I'm going to give my opinion. But on one hand, they were saying that Doctor Who canon doesn't exist, but yet they're trying very hard to put the Fugitive Doctor in somewhere. These Morbius faces, they're calling the Morbius Doctors now, as you know. And obviously, those other Doctors as well, including Dr. Moon, the Dream Lord, the Valiard, and all of that other stuff. So if you want to come on, please do. I would like to hear people's opinions on it. So let me know. Unfortunately, if it's a televised Doctor Who episode, it's canon, says Laura Thought. And that's the point, mate. And that's why I want to get people on. So I'm still waiting for people to tell me if they want to come on. So if you want to come on, please do. As I said, I'm only staying on for an hour. We're already 10 minutes into this. So that's 50 minutes for you guys to get your opinions in. So if you want to come on, please do. Let me know what your thoughts are. I've said it 3 times now. I don't want to keep repeating myself, as you know. So if you want to come on, don't be shy. Please do. If not, as I said, this is going to be the shortest stream that I've done on this channel to date. So if you want to come on, as I said, let me know in the chat. Are the 60 movies canon now then? Disaster Era Peter Cushing was also put in. And I do know Stephen Moffat did try to make them canon in his era. And he couldn't get permission. I think he was going to use the TV movie posters when they were in the Tower of London in the archive. That wipes your mind, if you all remember. When Clara walks past the board, the posters were going to be on that board, but he couldn't get permission, so it never happened. Now, as we know, right, Philip Hinchcliffe, did actually say that these Morbius faces were intended to be incarnations of the Doctor. As you all know, Terrence Dicks, who was the writer of the story, decided that he wanted his name taken off it because he strongly disagreed. Now, it was never made canon and never specifically mentioned in that story that these doctors or Morbius doctors were actually canon. And that's the point that I was trying to make to this person. But then this person came out then and said that canon doesn't exist. Well, why are you trying so hard to put all of these doctors in a list and in an order if you don't believe canon exists? Now, we've had this conversation in the fandom for the last 5 years. You know, we've had fans saying F canon and all of that other rubbish. And then on the one hand, then the defendant Jodie would, well, she's part of canon, she's the 13th Doctor, blah, blah, blah. So they contradict themselves quite a lot. So, so that's why I want to have this discussion, because I want to hear from you guys. You are the Doctor Who fans. I want to know if you guys actually agree with this person or agree with me where I said, well, it's not canon because, you know, it was never mentioned in the episode. And just because Chris Chibnall is trying to make them canon now, you know, to try and justify his timeless children rubbish as well, you know, this is the thing with these fans. They're very strange. Very strange. I have to be honest. And I am aware of the novelization and the whole scene with Sarah Jane in the novelization. Of course, very strange that they never bring that up. But you know, she didn't count the unbound doctors either, says Unknown 289. Exactly. This is the thing, you know. It's like she contradicted herself. It is a female. I won't say who she is because obviously I don't, you know, already I had her support come and harass me today. I've blocked a lot of them, but I don't want to mention her name in this stream, and don't mention her name in the chat either, Unknown, because I don't want her then claiming and pretending to be a victim because some people go and have a pop at her. We're not about that on this channel. Remember that. So I already see Daniel has offered himself to come on. Fair play to you, pal. I'll send you an email. As I said, if anybody else wants to come on, I'm only staying on for an hour. So if it ends up just being me and Daniel will have a natter for an hour. It's been a long time since I had Daniel on anyway. So I shall send you the email. Email is now sent, Daniel. I will wait for you to come on. So I'll just waffle on a little bit longer until I bring you on, pal. Ted has a poster of the Carvanista, says Lee Halford. And no, Ted won't be joining us tonight. Ted is actually in bed with Cheryl right now. She's pretty tired too. And as you guys know, tomorrow we're celebrating our 3rd wedding anniversary. We're 3 years married tomorrow. How that happened, I do not know, but we got to the 3-year mark. You know, as I said on Twitter, I'm not going to pretend that it's been absolutely perfect. No marriage is, but you know, she's absolutely wonderful person, as you all know. And you know, I'm so lucky to have met her. And we met her because of this show, Doctor Who. So, you know, I set up a Facebook group, the classic group on Facebook, and we met in there. Quite funny, the story is. She sent me a message, and then it just blew from there. She sent me a private message stalking me, she was. Shh. And, yeah, it all grew from there. And, you know, very quick romance, as they say. And she came over to visit a couple of times, and then, you know, we felt so at ease in each other's company. Then we just decided that we'd get married, and here we are. Here we are. Best decision I made, I have to say. Absolutely fantastic. And she's a wonderful person, as you all have seen, yourselves. We won't acknowledge what happened today with the trolls in the chat. There's no need. Sad individuals that just want to try get a reaction out of me, but the only reaction that you're going to get out of me is to be ignored. Right. Anyway, we move on because we do have Daniel here. And remember, if anybody does want to come on, let me know. If not, it's just going to be me and Daniel having an old natter like we used to do in the old days. So if anybody else wants to come on, this is your opportunity. Of course, you don't have to. I have Daniel here, and myself and Daniel will keep you entertained for the next 45 odd minutes. So let's bring him on. It's the one and only, it's the legend. It's been a while since he's been on the channel, but I understand why with all the nastiness that's going on and stuff. And he is taking a little bit of a break on YouTube. So the fact that he's coming on here, I have to give him kudos for coming on and helping a pal out. So thank you. Before I bring you on, Daniel, you're absolutely fantastic. But here he is. It's the one and only Scottish Davros, the legend.
Evening. Oh, how are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm glad. You seem to be in very high spirits anyway.
Yep.
Right, let's get into this, Daniel. Let's get into this nonsense.
Yep.
So, first of all, I'll ask you, does Doctor Who canon exist? And if it does, what doctors are canon for you? Go for it,
pal. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, like obviously the classic series doctors are definitely canon, and obviously the new doctors in the revival of canon, because like I do agree with Odd often the chat that once an actor Tardis and cast and there was a doctor it's very hard to distribute the case that they are but with like in my opinion about the home or base and AC's to start off with. I mean the obviously AC's wasn't exactly it wasn't exactly suggested in the episode to the actual air or actually is it, but like in my opinion, well, because it was a mind but till I think he can safely assume that those incarnations are actually or these incarnations, because if it's some because if it's because it's because it's and but also obviously the incarnations obvious have to be involved in some capacity as well. So I think those emphases belong to obvious.
Now, I haven't read the novelization, but apparently in the novelization, Sarah Jane sees the Doctor obviously having this mind battle, and it's referenced, I think, in the novelization that it is Morbius and not Morbius doctors. The question I'd like to ask is, what do you say? What do you say to people? I mean, I made this point, so we have people saying, but Philip Hinchcliffe said in a quote and in an interview that these were supposed to be past incarnations of the Doctor. My point is, and I've made it clear, is that, okay, he might have been quoted as saying that in an interview, but it wasn't referenced in the actual story itself. So therefore, how can you say it's actually canon when at the same time you're saying canon doesn't exist? To me, I'll just say canon does exist. The Fourth Doctor, saw him on screen. His granddaughter Susan, they came from Gallifrey. That is the start of the law, the canon. That's where it starts from. But what would you say to people that say, well, you're wrong, these are Morbius Doctors because it was quoted and now Chris Chibnall has decided to incorporate them into his story, so therefore they are canon now?
Again, see, here's the problem I have with here's the problem I have with that argument. People are suggesting that it kind of doesn't make sense because you've kind of got because you can't really fit in those incarnations because it will together up the time even further, and I think you don't really need to be making the canon any other than it already is.
Yeah.
Damaged.
By the way, Disaster, I know that Hinchcliffe didn't write the story. I actually said at the very start of the stream. Terrence Dix wrote it, but he wanted his name taken off it. And Terrence Dix wasn't happy. And still, I think to the end, he was very bitter, actually, about that. So for anybody that doesn't think I know the backstory of this or don't know everything that was said, I have the DVDs. I've seen all the interviews. So don't worry. I do know that Hinchcliffe didn't write the episode or the book. I know it was written by the great Terrence Dix. So I want to make that clear just in case anybody thinks I don't know what I'm talking about. I absolutely do. It's not true that the faces Sarah sees is Morbius faces. She wouldn't know that, says Philip Archer. Just 4 stories after Morbius, they introduced the 12 bodies, which is 13 regeneration concept, says Unknown 289. And Michael Hugh says no is no such thing as canon. Of course there is. Canon does exist. What I'm asking is, because look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Doctor Who canon is perfect. Even Daniel would admit to that over the years, especially in Classic Who, Doctor Who has kind of contradicted its own canon. It has happened, but I'm talking about this specific Morbius thing before we move on to the other ones that they decided to make canon, including the Timeless Child and the Root Doctor and all that. We'll get into all of that. I'm just concentrating on the Morbius one right now. Morbius looks like he's winning, and the Doctor looks in pain as the other Morbius faces show up. No, it says he sees the mind battle of the Doctor fighting Morbius, which on TV was Doctor's regeneration and Morbius regeneration. See, this is the thing. I was talking, and here's the thing. I've gotten a lot of support on me Twitter account in this, and some long-term fans have said that they've been in forums, and they've been, years ago they were going to these conventions, and this was a hot topic. And most Doctor Who fans that obviously these fans were telling me that most Doctor Who fans came to the conclusion that the Doctor was actually mind battling Morbius, and it wasn't Morbius Doctors, as is suggested by Chris Chibnall. And if you look at the Doctor Who wiki, they've actually changed it as well now. Now it's Morbius doctors, because obviously this all has to fit into the time this child story arc that he's doing, as you all know. So this is why we're having this discussion. So the simple question is, guys, is Morbius doctors or is it just Morbius? Let me know in the chat. Also, in the very same poster, we actually had Dr. Moon was actually put in as one of the canon doctors. I'm just laughing at that one because it's stupid. But anyway, Dr. Moon, a canon doctor or not the doctor? What do you reckon?
I don't think that's actually canon, to be honest.
So you do think that Dr. Moon is an actual doctor? That's what I'm asking you. Do you think Dr. Moon is a doctor? Another one that was put in there was also the Dream Lord. Now the Dream Lord and the Valiard are two separate conversations. To be same conversation, but separate, because I'll tell you why. This is what I said. They are amalgamation of all the dark and deep thoughts of the Doctor, amalgamated into a character, right? So I don't really put them into canon as such personally.
Because is a Dream as another entity. I have don't associate the Dream as another issue, because it's not really it's not really it's not really it's not really you sort of it's not really you sort of universe. It's like an ultimate and you them sort of dreamy universe. It's not really. I know what I'm trying to say. It's just still in it. That's but yeah, I don't think the dream or as an incarnation of the box.
Yeah, someone says there, the you in your dreams is not actually another you. So the Dream Lord is not a real doctor. I would say, and someone's made the point about Dr. Moon being a doctor for Cal, obviously the little girl that was obviously implanted in the library. And I wouldn't class that as a doctor either. Not that the doctor though, the Moon Doctor could have maybe been possibly later down the line, like the curator or something. Perhaps I think that's what Moffat originally wanted, though I personally don't count him. Actually, they have added the creator Tom Baker's second character, obviously the creator, as a doctor. Would you count Tom Baker's doctor in the 50th anniversary? The one that was obviously the creator of the museum. Would you count him as a doctor, Daniel?
See, like I can understand I can understand that argument. Because remember in this episode, remember in the same episode the curator at Smith's or that he can revisit old aces, so you can kind of make a ace object Kiri because it's explicitly he said in that episode that the Doctor can revisit old faces.
Right, let's timeless child or the timeless children. I think we all know where we're going to go with this one. I personally don't count them as the Doctor. Would you, Daniel, count them as?
Hartnell was the first Doctor and always will be. I don't count a time with children at all as an incarnation. Hartnell first.
Also put in there, as I said earlier, Peter Cushing. Would you count him as the Doctor in this? Now, you've got to remember when I'm asking, right, folks, especially you guys in the chat, when I'm asking these questions, right, obviously with Peter Cushing, his movies were kind of a separate entity to the main universe. So this is why I'm asking, because this person is trying to put them all in and make them all part of one canon, at the same time contradicting themselves and saying that canon doesn't exist. So this is why I'm asking these questions. I only count the first 4 Doctors these days, says Sadako 24. So I'm assuming from Bill Hartnell to Tom Baker is all you count, which is fair enough. But I think it is a little bit disrespectful to the other guys that played the Doctor. You mightn't like them personally, but they are the Doctor. That's the point. They were on screen. Peter Davison is, the 5th Doctor, whether you like it or not. The same with Jodie Whittaker. Someone says, well, why didn't you leave out Jodie Whittaker? Well, look, personally, in my own head canon, I don't count her as a Doctor, but but she is part of canon, because it's being shown on screen. Now, this is what I'm asking. Even though Chris Chibnall in that 30-second scene where he amalgamated all of these Doctors and the red-nosed Doctors and all of this other rubbish, right? That's why I'm asking this question. Are they canon? Peter Cushing is not a Doctor. The films are a remake of Hartnell episodes, so he's a tribute act. That's exactly, Robert. And that's no disrespect to Peter Cushing. I agree with you on that one. His films are actually very good, but you are right. They are tribute acts. Go ahead, Daniel.
But also in most movies as well. Peter Cushing was actually a human as well, so that doesn't really make any sense, because he was fully a human, and there was no mention of him being a time or than was movies, and there was also and there was also a bit in the very first movie. Yeah, he says that he built the artist out, and the actual was canon when all that the Doctor and kind of old artist, so that again doesn't really fit into canon if you were to include Peter Cushing. So like, I don't think he should be part of the canon of the show, in a sense, if you understand.
I think this is where this person's getting confused, right? See, this is where the confusion happens. We've got the main show, and it's got its own canon. And as I said, right, it contradicts itself sometimes. But then you have the Big Finish audio. They have their own little canon. And then you've got the novelizations, which are novelizations of stories. But obviously, what happens with those novelizations, some things that they can't actually put in the original episodes, they'll put into the novelizations, as you know. And that's the thing. They're separate entities. It's what Chris Chibnall has basically tried to do, folks, and we all know this. He's tried to get everything that's not the main TV show, if you get me, and that canon. He's tried to get Big Finish, all of these fucking novelizations, the movies from Peter Cushing, and obviously all these other so-called doctors that turned up, and is trying to fit them all in. But it's never going to work, because you're going to have a lot more questions to be answered, and there's a lot of plot holes, even in the Timeless Child right now, and the Morbius. There's plot holes galore. It contradicts stuff that happened in the RTD and in the Moffat eras especially. So, I mean, look, this is what he has done, and you're going to have people that agree with Chibnall, and we're seeing that right now. But for me, there's only one, as Peter there said, I agree. There's 1 to 13 doctors. That's it, 1 to 13, right? So it's Bill Hartnell, Pertwee. Not Pertwee, sorry. Bill Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, Baker, Davison, Baker again, the other Baker, McCoy, McGann, and then we have Eccleston. Then obviously David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and obviously, I hate to say it, but Jodie Whittaker is the 13th Doctor. And that's the way I see it. It's linear. Now, the Meta Crisis Doctor is put in there. I can live with that one, to be quite honest, but the Meta Crisis Doctor is in a different universe. So again, they're trying, but, you know, this is what he's done. This is what he's done, and this has become an absolute mess. And this debate about who's the Doctor and who's legit and who's not legit is gonna go on long after he's gone. He contradicted the show and Big Finish over and over again, and included Mary Shelley and Mary Seacole, who were already in Big Finish. Big Finish contradicted the canon before Chibnall. Exactly unknown. Meta Crisis Doctor is only a photocopy of the Doctor, but still is a Doctor. Still is. It's a human version of David Tennant's Doctor. Obviously, he can't regenerate, and he would grow old. But I will actually accept him as part of that canon, to be quite honest with you. I don't have any problem with the Meta Crisis Doctor, to be quite honest with you. As I said, it's the other Doctors that these people are trying to insert into canon, and especially the ones before William Hartnell. There are no Doctors before William Hartnell. That's just the bottom line, right? That is, it's fact. The first episode was An Unearthly Child. Bill Hartnell is the first Doctor. His granddaughter, Susan, both from Gallifrey. And that was obviously made canon within the show. And once it's there, look, I'm not saying you can't, explore canon and add on to it. But what Chris Chibnall is actually trying to do is trying to rewrite canon. And that's a different story altogether. You should never rewrite canon. Just making a bit of a joke there. It leaves a way for David Tennant to do a cameo too. Listen, David Tennant, for me, I wouldn't be surprised if he returns in the future at some stage.
I'll come back for the 60. I bet my house on it.
The Meta Crisis Doctor, wasn't that from his hand? Yeah, it was enacted. What happened was his hand was in the tube that Captain Jack was carrying around, and what happened was Donna touched the hand, and there was some reaction there, and then obviously the hand grew into another David Tennant doctor. What about Jenny? Jenny's the doctor's daughter. Actually, she wasn't put on the list, but she's the doctor's daughter, so she's not a doctor. So that's why she's not in that list, Michael. That's why. If she had have included Jenny now, I would have really laughed. But Jenny is actually the doctor's daughter, and we know how that all came about. Which still kind of annoys me a little bit. But if you're going to do a female Time Lord, the doctor's daughter would have been the way for the BBC to go, but they chose not to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed him, and he as a character. I just actually the BBC with the Jenny Owens animal series.
Chris has a good question there. What about the Dr. Donna?
That's a good, and that's a good.
Honestly, my simple answer is nah. She's not canon. She's not an official doctor, but obviously she did have. What was it? Was it consciousness, or I forget? Because it's been so long since I watched that
Yeah,
whole
but it's kind of a conscious type
thing. So again, that'd be So I wouldn't. That'd be like the Dream Lord. And the Valleyard, as far as but this was. So I wouldn't actually class Donna as a doctor. But I did like the Dr. Donna. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of us did. Why can't there be a previous regeneration cycle before Hartnell? Just because we met an old man in the junkyard, he must have had a life before then. Okay, that's a fair question. But how do I answer this now? Because you've kind of asked a good question there, actually. I'll throw that up on the screen. Let's see if anybody else in the chat can answer this. Where is that? Because that was a good question. I want to put that up on the screen. Let's see who wants to take a stab at this. I'll try answer it myself. Just give me a few seconds to think about that one. Why can't there be regenerations before William Hartnell? Right, so here's the question again. Why can't there be previous regeneration cycle before Hartnell? Just because we met an old man in a junkyard, he must have had a life before then. Okay, right. Well, he was an old man, so we can assume that the first Doctor actually lived until an old man, because we've seen him obviously as a young boy in Listen. Maybe he didn't regenerate up until he became an old man. Because remember, he got tired and he just regenerated. William Hartnell's Doctor wasn't actually injured or anything, as far as I'm aware, because we've been watching William Hartnell's Doctor again. I don't think he actually was injured in any sort of way. I think he just grew old and his body gave up, and then he regenerated into Patrick Troughton. So, to me, he was a little boy. He grew up, became that old man, and then regenerated. So that's the way I look at it. I don't know how Daniel looks at it, but we'll ask Daniel. Daniel, how do you look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I think similar. I mean, I think similar. I think similar. Yes, well, because as you look at his if you look at his video narrations, seen in the temple, and you can see that Hartnell was incarnation of it, he kind of got a bit as well. So like because up until that point, it's hard imagine an incarnation if or heart happening was oh, oh,
There you go. Unknown has said it as well. He died of old age. That's what I mean. I don't think he was actually
yeah.
injured. He was just
Mhm.
old. So we can assume by that he grew
Yeah,
up, lived his life, became an old man, and then his body just gave up. And then obviously then the regeneration kicks in uh, to rejuvenate the Doctor, obviously, as we all know. And then the Doctor became Patrick Troughton. Like, so that's why I always believe that William Hartnell was the first, and he was the first, and he even said it. Sadako said it in there. This is why they used the line, "the original," you might say,
yeah,
because he was the original Doctor. So he was that little boy in Listen. He grew up, right? He became an old man. His body gave up. He regenerated into Patrick Troughton. That's that's a simple way of putting it, but that's exactly the way I look at it. And as Daniel has alluded to, he agrees there with that one. And I think a lot of Doctor Who fans would also agree with that. Let's see what Chris said. Patrick Troughton, we owe his ability to become the second Doctor for everything. And then Chris Persia says, they already alluded to previous, and once again during the time of the Doctor, the Gallifreyan ministries are talking, and one says, "Not, no, sir, all 13, and
yeah.
we see Capaldi's eyes." Exactly. So I mean, 13 doctors. I think they were including. But hold on, there was 13. No, hold on, I'm getting confused now. See, you confused me.
Yeah, because remember, Jodie, but because incarnation as the start of the new I because remember and
Oh, the 13th Doctor was fucking the War Doctor. We're forgetting about bleeding the War Doctor.
yeah,
They included the War Doctor. That was the one. Yeah. Thanks,
yeah,
Chris. It just popped. Yeah. We're forgetting about poor William Hart, William fucking Hurt.
yeah,
John Hurt, I should say. Sorry. We're forgetting about John Hurt. Yeah, he was the War Doctor. Obviously, the War Doctor would never have came into existence if Chris Chibnall, or not Chris Chibnall, Christopher Eccleston wasn't such a prick and had to come back for the 50th. I'm sorry, I'm pissed off with him still.
yeah, same here.
I made it says on Comics Hell chat, the War Doctor. Yeah, I totally forgot about bloody John Hurt. But that's why there was 13. So John Hurt was included in that. But again, they mentioned 13 doctors. They don't mention 200 and odd something doctors, do they? No, 13 doctors.
No,
So Bill Hartnell, no matter what this person says on Twitter, and they contradict themselves anyway, because they said canon doesn't exist on one hand, but yet they're trying to fit all these doctors into Doctor Who canon. This is why I don't take these fans very seriously. And this person then kind of got cheeky with me. Well, that's my niche. I am an expert on black. Well, clearly you're not. Clearly you're not. And they haven't responded to me since after I actually said to them that just because it was quoted in an interview by Philip Hinchcliffe, it wasn't shown in the actual story that these were Morbius doctors, and it wasn't employed, which means it's not canon. So, you know, again, their argument falls flat. But they've included Lenny Henry's as parody. They've included a lot of nonsense. Unknown can actually tell you all of them because he was the one I think that was commenting on this thread as well. He'll be able to tell you every single one that they've tried to make canon, and some of them are actually ridiculous. So Capaldi is the first new Doctor after the Time Lords gave him a new regeneration cycle. Jodie is the second, says Sadako. Absolutely correct, because Matt Smith had got the second set of regenerations off the Time Lords, obviously. And then obviously we seen him regenerate into Peter Capaldi, so he would have been the first. And listen, we're going to have the same problem again when we get past this second set of regenerations. We're going to have to face this situation again at some stage. And this probably will all come up again, to be quite honest. But yeah, look, as far as I'm concerned, there's 13 doctors, right? And that's it. And you know, we've got the War Doctor as well. The Fugitive Doctor, i.e. Ruth, I think she is from a different dimension. So again, they contradict themselves when they try to put them in this universe. It'd be the same with the Timeless Child. You can't put the Timeless Child in this universe either, which would make also these Morbius ones part of a different universe. I think that's what he's doing. I've watched these 3 episodes again, as I said, back to back, and I'm telling you, it feels like to me that all of this is happening in a different universe. The TARDIS is dying as well. There's a couple of lines Vindar knew about the TARDIS as well, and then when Ruth, when the Fugitive Doctor was in that mirror and they were doing this the split scene with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor and Ruth's Doctor, she's definitely from a different universe, man. She's not from this universe. So no, they will have to be careful if they make all the Doctors from the comedy canon. That means Jodie Whittaker will no longer be the first Doctor, but Joanna Lumley. Exactly. They contradict themselves so many times, Chris. It's unbelievable. But you are right. You make an actual valid point there. If they do make all of those Doctors canon, well, then Jodie Whittaker is no longer the first female Doctor. She's no longer the first female Doctor. Joanna Lumley is. So, like, make up your mind. He's our precious Jodie Whittaker is either the first female Doctor or she's not. Like, make up your mind. I mean, that's the contradiction. Well, the lady she was talking to at the end said this universe is coming to an end, says Alpha Omega. Yeah, and I think that's the Fugitive Doctor's universe, not our universe, though. And I think we're being led down the garden path with Chris Chibnall. I think our universe is actually fine. And I think the Gallifrey that remember we seen it being destroyed, I think that's in the other universe. I don't think it's in our universe. I don't think our Gallifrey has been actually destroyed, but this parallel dimension or whatever you want to call it, universe Gallifrey is destroyed. The one that the Fugitive Doctor is actually from. So this actually makes no sense when you look at this poster that they put up. It makes no sense. They're contradicting themselves several times over. At the same time, saying that canon doesn't exist. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, make up your mind. It either is canon or it's not canon. Like, you know. So yeah, TARDIS can help aid and stabilize Time Lords regenerations. Let's just make Lester and Rimmer rival Doctors, says on comics. What else? What other comments have we got there? Iron Claim Fugitive Doctor is in the universe. Asuk says it's over, says Robert Payne. When I heard Ruth was in Once Upon a Time, I lost any interest in watching it. I don't know why, to be quite honest, Sadako. See, this is, look, I've said this, I'm not having a go or acting like this, right? Right? But I'm kind of sick and tired of people saying, well, you know, I heard such and such is in this, I'm not going to watch it. Look, at the end of the day, right? If you don't class Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, well then you're not going to watch. And just because you heard Ruth was in it, why would that be a reason not to watch? Her performance was actually very good if you compare it to Jodie Whittaker's. Is she top level Doctor Who material? No, but we're comparing her to Jodie Whittaker here, and she's in Jodie Whittaker's era, and she is much better than Jodie Whittaker. So I mean, I don't know what your reasons are for not watching Ruth. If you could expand on that and let me know why you're not watching it because of Ruth, it'd be very interesting to hear what your thoughts are on that. But for me, look at Jo Martin is not the quality of actress that I believe should be playing the Doctor. Is she better than Jodie Whittaker? Absolutely, absolutely. She steals every scene that she's in, actually. And she has this sassiness about her, an attitude about her Doctor that I do like. But at the same time, if you compare her to all the male doctors that came before, she's nowhere near them. But we have to compare her to the current Doctor, which happens to be Jodie Whittaker. And to be quite honest with you, she's well better than Jodie Whittaker. She stole that scene in that episode that she was in. Another thing, Cheryl actually said it. She didn't say it during our review, but she was saying it to me after, that she thinks Jo Martin has been wasted, actually. And I would have to agree. In fairness, if you're going to introduce a fugitive Doctor like Chibnall did, I'm actually surprised he hasn't utilised her as much as he could have, which is baffling to me. But if you compare her to Whittaker, she's levels above Whittaker.
And like she to me, he only introduced that incarnation for this value. I don't think he had any. I don't think he had any sort of intention to any sort of intention to fill shout the character or that incarnation. He's all about introducing as many different shocks as possible without expanding or explaining what he's trying to achieve, if you understand what I'm saying.
I heard the next Doctor will be announced on Tuesday. My guess is that it will be played by Bob Mortimer. I think you're kind of having a bit of a joke there. The new Doctor, as far as I'm aware, will not be announced this side of this year. This whole thing, it's basically Jodie Whittaker fans wanting to know and hoping that it's another female Doctor, but they want to know straight away before they decide whether they're going to jump ship or stay.
I think the announcement will probably happen just before the centenary special. I don't think it'll be any time. I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
If it's in a different universe situation, then why is the extended one show on the 23rd next Tuesday, an hour-long version? I haven't looked. I mean, I think this is a different universe. It has all the hallmarks right now, because going back, someone mentions Missy and Sacha Dhawan. I mean, Chris Chibnall is either a disrespectful piece of crap, or this master is a different universe master, because we got a redemption arc for Missy in Stephen Moffat's version, and a lot of fans are a bit peed off that Missy has been kind of if this is our universe, Sasha Dewan is our universe master, it basically spits in the face of what Stephen Moffat did in the redemption arc, and the actress in Michelle Gomez. Now, I don't know how the redemption arc set with a lot of fans, but to me, I actually did like that redemption arc.
Yeah,
And for me, the sad part of that is that Peter Capaldi's doctor never seen that she had decided to fight side by side with the doctor, and when she was taken out by the master, so the way she was, John Sims' master, I was actually gutted. That was the one thing I was really gutted about that episode, because you could see Doctor was getting to her when he made that speech, and he asked her to stand with him. So he asked the two masks, stand with me. Let's do, and she said it. You know what? We've been fighting with him for too long. It's about time. He's right. It's about time we stood with him instead of fighting against him. And that really did crush me when she actually got stabbed in the back or whatever he did. Oh no, he shot her, didn't he? He shot her with the laser thing. You're right, Noel. The Eternity of the Universe would be the best way to tie a lot of things up. But I have a bad feeling that Chibnall will just make the child of Bell the timeless child, and that's it. I think that's going to happen anyway. But that doesn't necessarily mean if Bell is carrying the timeless child that it's actually from our universe. I hear the new Davros in Doctor Who will be played. I think you're just taking the piss there. Quite simply, Fugitive Doctor was the first hint at timeless children retcon to me. Bringing the Root Doctor back is a sign that Chibnall learned nothing from the fan backlash at that. But as I said, Sadako, if this is in an alternative universe, well, then your argument will be null and void, to be honest. That's just the gist of it. If this is in a different universe, then Root's Doctor would not be part of the 13 Doctors that we know. Trolls will be removed. I don't think they're a troll. I think they're just trying to take the piss there, have a bit of a laugh. So, look, I'm not saying that they're trolls. Just as I said, I don't mind people having a joke and a laugh, but we're trying to get a serious conversation going here. We have ran over the hour, but what I'll do is, because I feel the energy drink is kicking in, we'll go for a few more minutes because Daniel is on with us. I haven't had him on in a long, long time. And I'm just so happy that he's actually here, that we're going to go on for a little bit longer. Trolls will be removed, says Problem Bing. We know you'll be on the case, mate. We know you'll be on the case.
Yeah, we know.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Just have you talked to Clubby, Lee? Because I was late for his stream, but I showed up, but you were not there. You were not there. And I was told to give you a telling off. I wouldn't do that. But Clubby missed you on his stream. The awful Chibnall will drag this out until next year, unfortunately. I don't think he will, Peter, because John Bishop actually made some interesting comments where he said, yeah, I know this story is all over the place right now, but it does all come together. Look, he did say it as a joke, Lee. Don't take it seriously. He was just saying that because, we did the stream. I was late, by the way. I dropped in the last half hour because I was in fucking bed. I overbleed and slept me. But no, he was just if you see Lee, just have a word with him. He was joking, of course. But could Jodie regenerate into Lupin? Dog says, oh, comics, Jesus Christ. I did speak to Clubby. Hello, problematic one at Problem Being. Homeless people, says Leland. I don't know what that means. Why are people just throwing random shit into the chat, man? What's going on? If Chibnall's going to tie up everything in the next 3 episodes, then he has so much to do. Timeless Child, Root, Flux, Swarm, Azor, Gallifrey being destroyed, the mysterious lady. Look, I still think he can do it. He's got 3 hours. He's got 3 fucking hours. Of course he can. Of course he can do it. But will he be able to do it? That's the question. He can do it if he had the talent. But the question is that will he be able to pull it off? And I don't think this will drag into the specials, to be quite honest with you. Because the next special then after that, the New Year special, is going to be a Dalek special. So this will have to be tied up, unless he's going to tie it into the Dalek story as well, which is a load of crap, because he hasn't because there's been no indication in the Dalek stories that the Timeless Child, the arc, has even been visible or talked about in this. So I doubt it. I think he's gonna have to do it in these 3 episodes. You know perfectly well that whatever resolution he comes up with will be ludicrous. Well, you thought, well, look, Leland, I will be fair and say, yes, previous history will teach us that, yes, it probably will. But right now, I'm still willing to give this man the benefit of the doubt, because he still has 3 episodes. I am looking forward to the Weeping Angel story on Sunday, I'm not going to lie. There's a few people also that are looking forward to the Weeping Angel story. I just hope it's not like what he did when he tricked us with the last trailer, thinking that we were going to have Cybermen in the galore, and it turned out they were in there for about 5 bleeding 10 minutes. So we'll see. But the Angel did take over the TARDIS. So I think this will be pretty Weeping Angel heavy. But yeah, don't talk about certain trolls, Lee. We made a thing today that we're just going to ignore them. So just ignore. If anybody comes in, you know what to do. Just block them. And that's it. We're not going to acknowledge any trolls. We've had them today, and as I said, they were just removed by Daniel, who was in the chat, and a few other the mods, including myself. So just don't acknowledge it at all. Don't even they don't exist as far as I'm concerned. So don't even mention people's names, because there's no point. These people, that's what they feed off, and we're not going to give them the satisfaction. I'm told the title releases do not match those predicted by Reddit rumors, so presumably the rumors that they were stressing now are not considered likely now. Yeah, true, but at the same time, someone did tell me that every series they have working titles. So titles can change. So maybe at the time, and I'm just throwing this out there, maybe at the time when that 4chan user was coming up with the name of the episodes, they were probably legit, right? But then, obviously, as I said, titles of episodes can change, and we've seen that in the past. It can happen. So, personally speaking, and Lee obviously agrees with me on this, and I think Daniel would as well. I think they are bullshit, to be quite honest. Belle is carrying the child, so already, people are already speculating that Belle and Vinda are actually the parents of the Timeless Child. So that would rule out Azor and the Swarm straight away, because if the Timeless Child is indeed and in fact the Doctor, well then their rumors would be bullshit, wouldn't they? Episode 5 is called The Survivors of the Flux. So does that mean it will be resolved this week or in episode 5? Good question. We will just have to wait and see, mate. As I said, we will continue to do our watch-alongs, and we will have our panels, and I will be watching right till the end, like I've done with every single season and special so far. Nobody out there that hates me can actually criticize me and say that I haven't watched this, because I've watched every single minute, every single second. I wish, that's 5 years of my life I wish I could get back, but unfortunately that can never happen. But I have watched. The Weeping Angels should be good. They live time to give them energy. I think that may be right. So to get the Tardis grubs up. If Belle is Chinese, she could not be Martin's mother, surely, but she's from Northern Ireland. Her character is actually from Northern Ireland, and isn't the Irish fella, the copper that we say, and I forget his name, hadn't he got a Northern Ireland accent, even though he had a Garda uniform on him, which is the wrong fucking uniform, by the way.
Is that the
Brendan, yeah, Brendan. Episode 6 features the Clare woman, apparently, as well as the underground man. Well, the underground man seems to be a bit pointless now at this fucking stage. We should have had more from him and why he was building the tunnels. But of course, that's Chris Chibnall for you. No, I'm certain Chibs will stretch them into the specials. It looks like it's too big to finish in 3 remaining episodes. Again, Philip, though, he has 3 hours. If you can't do that in 3 hours, like if this was a movie, a 3-hour movie, you could do this whole plot line in 3 hours, right? That he's taken 6 hours to do. You could do that in 3 hours in a 3-hour movie. You could do a Doctor Who movie called a Doctor Who Flux, right? Say it was a different doctor, different writer. You could do this in 3 hours. You could do this whole story in 3 hours. There is no excuse. He has 6 hours to do it. Now, the first 3 episodes, he could be setting up stuff, right? And the next 3 is where he starts to explain stuff. So, look, while I think there is a possibility it could. I've always said if it does go into the specials, it's an absolute disgrace. But he has 3 hours. He has 3 hours to do it. And any good fucking writer would be able to do it in 3 hours. Northern Ireland, Underground Man is clearly Dan's ancestor. I would agree with you on that one, Lee. Definitely they're related somewhere down the timeline. You're absolutely right. Claire will probably return in episode 6. Most or all her characters will. Have you watched? Did you watch this series? Have you watched it, Daniel? Have you taken the plunge?
No, as a year.
Are you thinking of watching it? Do you think you'll give it a go, or are you still adamant you're not going to watch it? I don't mean to put you on the spot there, but do you think you will watch? Because there's quite a few people actually over the last couple of weeks, especially Ian O'Time Lord. He refused to watch this current series, but then he changed his mind and he decided to watch, and he was a little bit surprised. Now, he did say that it had its flaws and all of that, but he still watched it. And obviously, I'm not going to tell you to watch it. It's a personal choice. But you have been thinking about it, obviously, because you've been saying not as of yet. So obviously, you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, I've been, but I don't know about it. Oh, to be honest, I'm still not sure.
Lee says, don't do it, Daniel. Stay pure. Alpha Omega says, it's great, Daniel. Do it. Our comic says, it's a trap. Lee says, no. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell anybody to watch it if they don't want to watch it. That's not. But the only problem I have is, as I've said, Danny, just before you say it, and don't worry, we're going to go on for a little while longer. The only problem that I have is with people that are making comments about it that haven't watched it, which Daniel hasn't. Daniel doesn't say anything in regards to this current series, but I have seen a lot of people making comments, and it does piss me off. If you haven't watched it, you have no right to be making comments about the current series. Obviously, you could talk about the last 2 if you've watched them, but if you're not watching this particular season or series, I should say, well, then I don't think you should be making stupid comments, to be quite honest with you. Let me see. Peter Harrington says Gallifrey was once quoted as a joke. Gallifrey is that in Ireland. Can't remember who Chibnall turned it into a part of the story. Well, if Ireland is fucking Gallifrey, no better place. No better place. Us Irish will take Gallifrey. Thank you very much. I'm only messing. That's fucking ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. But, you know, it was nice to see Ireland being featured in Doctor Who, but not the way that I wanted. I wanted an episode with killer leprechauns. That's what I wanted. Or the Banshee. Do a scary one for Halloween. The Banshee. Hold on now. We've got a few more comments there. They're all flying in, and but Daniel, go on. You've got some points to make anyway. While I go through these messages here. Go ahead.
See, the reason why I haven't actually, and see, the reason why I haven't actually had a start at the series is something tells me as it is not going to, as it is not going to be able to tie it up in a way that makes sort of a sense, you know, to be honest, because if you look at his track record of the past two series, none of these writing hasn't made any sense. So, like, I would struggle to see how he would actually tie up this arc sensibly. So that's why I haven't really had a stab at this series.
We got another comment. Looks like both Dr. Woke and STD are doing exactly the same Flux storyline. Chibnall and Kurtzman are in league with each other to destroy both franchises with wokery and desecrate their corpses. Well, actually, I would have to say that Doctor Who Flux is the least woke. It's even least woke than STD at the moment. This has probably been the least wokest series of Chris Chibnall's reign, and that might be hard for you to digest, but that is the reality of the situation. I know you're probably messing about them being in league together because that would be absolutely ridiculous. They're not. They're two different franchises. Why would they be in league with each other? But I know that's kind of a bit of a joke. But I will agree that the first two seasons of Chris Chibnall's era were a complete woke fest. But the same can't be said for the current series. It has been toned down quite a lot. And even Jodie Whittaker's performance, she's less of a clown, let's just say. That's the nice way of putting it. She's toned that down as well. So I don't know if you're actually watching Arduous, but again, as I said, you're entitled to your opinion about the first two seasons if you watch, but if you're not watching Doctor Who Flux, then you can't come out and say it's woke if you haven't watched it, because it's the least woke of his two series, and that's a fact. Let me see. Episode 6 is called the Vanquisher. Yeah, I can never believe and say that. I wonder what that title's all about. Well, we'll get to see it soon. The series is like a 3-part finale filled with random filler stuff and dropped out. Stay pure, as I said, says Lee to Daniel. I bet $1 Daniel will watch it before it ends. Now, Daniel is, I have to be honest, right? Of all the people that I know, if Daniel says he's not going to watch something, the chances are 99% he won't watch. He's very true to his word. I have to say. So I don't think he will watch. If he says if he's still undecided, he's not going to watch now. The Gallifrey Irish link was a joke in the family of blood, says Leland. Yeah. Let me see. We got Mark. Why is my computer doing this? Sorry about this, folks. My computer is acting up today. But no, we are dealing with the Swarm, Azor, Flux, and the Division, Vinder, and Bell. I do agree he has a lot to squeeze in, Philip. He does, but he's got 3 hours to do it. Look at the big movie franchises and all the stuff that they have to squeeze in. They can do it. They can do it. There's no excuse. No excuse. I reckon we will. Well, I'm hoping we will start seeing something by Sunday's episode. If Lungbarrow is canon, does that count the novels? So is the Infinity Doctor's canon? I don't know what he's trying to do here, but that does look like Lungbarrow. Everybody has said it. They've even put side-by-side pictures up. Obviously, the picture in Chris Chibnall's season, and obviously the book, the artwork, the illustration, is that what's called? Illustration work, and they look identical. I gave Flux Part 1 a chance and was actually very impressed. Felt very, I can never say that. Logan Populous, I can never say it properly. Part 2 was Chibnall back on horrible preachy form. Decided I was done there. The second episode was what? The War of the Sontarans. What was preachy about that? I don't, maybe it's just me, but I don't see where it was preachy, where it was a preach. I think there was one scene where she gave out to the general for blowing up the oak, which I actually did say was a bit ridiculous, because I didn't blame the general for what he did in the War of the Sontaran episode. You know, he just seen his whole army wiped out by the Sontarans. But again, it's all yes, it's been kind of woke, like not totally non-woke, but less. Exactly, and that's all the point of trying to make. I'm not here defending it, but at the end of the day, I have to tell it as I see it, and the way I see it is, if you compare it to series 11 and 12, it's been the least woke that it's ever been. But again, 5 years too late. Really, a white man villain literally called Your Supremacy. Yeah, but as I said, it's less woke than the last two, Lee. That's a fact. She's still trying to do that fast talking Tennant impression stuff. Well, she's always going to do that because she's modelled herself off David Tennant and Matt Smith. I had an idea for an animation review of Flux. I don't know if it would work though, so probably dropping that idea. Grand Serpent, you mean LOL. Hello all, says Queen Charlotte. Welcome. Yeah, but when they talk directly to the Grand Serpent, they refer to him as Your Supremacy. Go and watch again. Well, he did act like a bit of a dickhead. And he does play dickhead roles, and he was even a dickhead in Misfits.
And
yeah, Misfits, he was an absolute dickhead. If you haven't seen that show, you should watch it. Of course, it does by the end get very woke, as we call it. Spoiler, episode 6, last 10 minutes, Jodie Dump expulsion. Yeah, well, that's what everybody thinks. Yeah, and you know what, Lee, you probably are right. That's the way he probably will do it. But I'm hoping not. Because, you know, he's given us something interesting, and I think he'd be doing himself He wouldn't be doing himself justice if he did it that way. It'd be absolutely ridiculous. This season is totally filled with token casting. One-armed woman, Chinese girl depicted as Irish, all the main characters. So you're telling me that there's no such thing as Chinese Irish, because we have a Chinatown here and we're full of we've got a high Chinese population living in Ireland and Northern Ireland. So again, that doesn't, I don't see that as woke, because in our country, and I'm from the Republic of Ireland, obviously not Northern Ireland, but I do know there's a high contingent of Irish Chinese living in Northern Ireland and also the Republic. As for the one-armed woman, again, I will defend that. She has a lot more to play in this series, and she's not a token character. All the male characters written as imbeciles, so they don't show up with her. I disagree. The general actually gave out to her at one stage. Dan has been written absolutely superb, so I don't know where you're getting that. I think what's just happened here is that people just want to pick and find things to pick on, because it's interesting. You're not talking about the story or the plot. You're actually bringing up about, who's being cast, which is very interesting. A lot of people are doing that. So I disagree 100%. Sorry, but that's, but you are entitled to your opinion, but I don't agree with it. Dan is one of the best male characters written, and even Vinder as character right now, he got more character development as well. And as I said, I've watched the 3 episodes again before I came on, and his character is delightful. And I think he has a bigger role to play, and he will have a bigger role to play. So I disagree 100%. Sorry. But you are entitled to your opinion. She's treated the general as a naughty schoolboy. One scene, man. Jesus Christ, come on. As I said, it's less. If you just want to nitpick, that's fine. As I said, you're entitled to do that, but it was telling off the general, I guess. Yeah, as I said, she did tell off the general, but the general also told her off as well. Remember, he had her arrested and taken away, right? So, they showed both sides of the coin. She treated him like shit, and he basically put her in our place. Balance. I agree that the men are for the most part, except maybe 1 or 2, written as imbeciles. Exactly. Still got 3 episodes left to cram in all the messaging in. Fair enough. Wrap it all up in a 30-second voiceover, says Alpha. I hope he doesn't do that. Notice they cast 2 black actors to play 2 roles as aliens, talking to the Grand Serpent, look fabulous, and have 0 lines. Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I'll agree with that one. 100%. But as for the other examples that people are given, I disagree. And that's just personally my opinion. Wow, totally insane speculative theory. Not really. It's kind of obvious. The serpent is the swarm. I wonder if we're getting a new Tardis before the specials, considering the state it's in now. So talking about the chat there. Wasn't there still a supremacy? The actor in an English officer's uniform, can anyone help, says Peter Harrington. Graham is better than Dan, though. Vinder is kind of decent. I disagree. I think Dan is better than Graham, because I think Bradley Walsh's character was a bit of an imbecile and was made a bit of an imbecile. I don't see that with Dan's character. Actually, the first opening scene with John Bishop is he's in the museum and comes across as a very nice man, proud of his city, you know, and then he goes and works in the soup kitchen. So again, I don't get that. What, is he an imbecile because he got pushed into the tube by the Calvinista? Is that where everybody is calling him an idiot? Because I don't think he's done it. I don't think he has been. He infiltrated the Sontaran ship and everything he did. So I don't get where that's coming from, but you are entitled to your opinion. Yeah, the free bleeding TARDIS concerns me. We'll see. I don't think it's the TARDIS of our universe. That's why. On top of everything else, Dan and his parents are all written as simpletons. There's no aspirational or inspiring characters at all. Again, I disagree. Stephen Moffat said Dr. Moon was the Doctor recently. That's fair enough, but it wasn't written into the show. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not canon. And that's all the comments so far. We'll see what other comments come in. But very interesting from people there. But I have to say, as I said, I'm going to stick by what I said. I think Dan's character is a very good character. I think Vinder is a very good character. Now, look at. I'm not going to sit here and say that he'll continue to write them perfectly. We've got 3 episodes to go. You never know. Then he could all go downhill from there. But right now, those 2 male characters in particular have been written very well as far as I am concerned. But again, that is just my opinion. Everybody is a bloody doctor nowadays, says Lee Halford. Swarm or Flux is killing the TARDIS. I agree. Something is happening there. Daniel, anything else you would like to add?
No, not really.
Where about that comment by Lee Halford? He said Stephen Moffat said Dr. Moon was the Doctor recently. Do you agree with that comment from Stephen Moffat?
I think he's taking the part as usual because Moffat kind of likes to troll the fans.
Well, didn't he take the piss out the timeless child and stuff and said it doesn't
actually.
So I think he's kind of taking the piss there, to be quite honest. That's how I interpret it, but what would you
think? That actually, because do you remember during Emily Luke's events, he had a couple of swipes at the time with his children during those events that Emily Luke had them set up. So, I don't think I don't think he was being serious with that comment. I think he was just taking.
I think he was just trolling.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Who Trek both featured agents called O last year, says Inspector #23. Thank you for your comment, and you seem to be new, so welcome. Nice to see some new people in the chat. Again, as I said, look, you all have different opinions to me, and we'll all have different opinions to each other, and that's fine. But I have to say, I disagree with a lot of things that's being said about the male characters in this particular series. Chibnall can write males way better than females, yet went with a female doctor. Absolutely, Charlotte. That's a very good point, actually. I agree with you. He seems to be undermining his own female doctor, doesn't he? And it baffles me. It does, because if you look at the way he has written these male characters, he does write them a lot better than his female characters, I have to say. Didn't Carl turn off Dr. Moon, or didn't Carl turn Dr. Moon off with her remote? Hope someone can help. Yeah, she did. She threw the remote down, do you remember? And then it started making all these sounds and everything was moving, and then she I don't know what she did. I forget, because it's been ages since I've watched that episode.
Yeah, but, I mean, yeah, I remember he gets switched off and stuff. Oh, so, yeah.
Um, he originally wanted Dr. Moon to be a doctor or an amalgamation of the doctor. Thought it wasn't written into the show, and I think it's stupid. Yeah, I don't think he completely went through with it. That's another thing. So again, I don't class Dr. Moon as a canon-wise doctor, to be
Yeah,
quite honest. So that's where I stand on that, and I think
yeah,
he's the same.
yeah, would have been a stupid idea anyway, to be honest.
Chibnall's male characters are all weak. Um, he's not capable of writing strong characters, either male or female. I have to disagree. I really do. He writes his male characters a lot better than he does his female characters, and I think the male characters that he has in series 13, Flux, Doctor Who Flux, is they're so much better than we've had in the previous two seasons. For example, Ryan and Graham would be the two perfect examples, and all the other male characters that he introduced into the show. But he hasn't done it this time in this series. They seem to be a better written than he has done in the past. Let's face it, canon is an almighty mess right now, and it's only going to get worse, unfortunately. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but you're probably right. Why are you getting on my case? Yeah, please remove that person there, please, because they do seem to be upsetting people in the chat. Enough is enough. Let's get rid of them there, please. Yeah, get rid of them. I'm not having that crap in the chat. So remove them there, please, and let me know when they're removed. Alpha is putting in the channels there as well, so that's absolutely fantastic as
Yeah,
well.
thanks, Alpha.
Got me suspicions who that person is in the chat anyway. Same gobshite that was on Matrix Lord's channel.
Yeah,
And trying to ruin his channel, bringing on an Irish fella and talking about a certain group that we had in Ireland that fought the Brits. Absolutely disgusting, to be quite honest with you. So remove that piece of shit, please. And Lee's channel's gone in there as well. I'm not going to have that bullshit anymore. And grow up and cop onto yourself and stop making up fake accounts. All right. Sick of you, even coming onto me gaming channel as well. Get out of here. Sick of this nonsense. The General Dan Vinder and the Industrials are all off. Listen, I think you're deliberately just putting comments in here now to kind of get a reaction out of me. Listen, if that's your opinion, that's fine. You've made it very clear that you don't like the male characters in this show. Just leave it at that now, please. Just leave it at that. You've made your point. What you call it? Canon to me begins and ends with the TV show only, says Lee. I would agree with that one. Where about you, Daniel? You'd agree with that, would you?
well, kind of to a certain extent, but remember in the eighth Doctor or short episode that leads into the 50th, Moffat kind of canonized his like finish companions because he met because the eighth Doctor mentions all his like finish companions um as he's about to take the ocean to help him regenerate and if the dog. Also, there's a case for the eighth or audios to be canon because of it mentioned the companions and the walk.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. This canon debate will go on for a very, very long time. As I said, this is what Chibnall has done. He's opened the Pandora's box, and this is going to cause a lot of debates over the next few years. Just like the half human thing did in the TV movie with Paul McGann. And obviously, the kiss as well was another thing that we're obviously complaining about. But this is going to be another. It's going to be another one of those. Another one of those things where fans are going to discuss this long after Chibnall leaves, which we know he is leaving now. So I suppose there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. But we'll just move slightly off Chris Chibnall and the current era right now, because let's look to the future, Daniel. Obviously, I got you on. You come on when RTD was obviously announced, and you were super hyped and stuff. And I want to find out now off you. How you're feeling now about the whole RTD's return? Are you still hyped? What would you like to see from RTD? Most important.
I'm still hyped. What is I would kind of like to see, I would kind of like to see a different sort of. I would kind of like to see. I would kind of like to see a different sort of. A different sort of story from Russell, because it can't it can't be exactly the same as he had already constructed the first time. It has to be it has to be a sort of different it has to be a sort of different it has to be a sort of different arc, if you know what I mean. It can't all just be a rehash. But I'm excited I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the future. Because whoever because whoever RT and whoever RT he casts, I think he's gonna be cast based on our and acting ability the people that he'll cast in certain roles. So I'll be so I'm interested to see what sort of tour RT I'll actually and on the show, because he's a lot more mature this time around.
Yeah. Future, unless the timeless child monster is removed from canon, there is no future. Well, whether you like it or not, Doctor Who is going to continue with or without you. That's the thing. And that's what I said. And I've been saying for months now, ever since Chris. Go ahead, Daniel.
sorry, no, it's not going to get retconned. BBC on have a retcon this. And to be honest with you, Russell has already he said he's going to actually implement his own style and his own ideas. To be honest with you, it's going to be like another reboot in all honesty.
Yeah, unless Chris Chibnall does it himself, and if he doesn't, it's not going to happen. So as I said, Doctor Who fans that do see the timeless child as a sticking point will have a choice to make. They either ignore the fact that it's canon, like they did with the TV movie, certain aspects of that they don't believe are canon, or simply don't come back. But the show is going to continue with or without you, and you will have a choice to make. If he doesn't retcon this Chibnall, RTD is not going to retcon it because, as Daniel has rightly pointed out, he has his own vision. He's got RTD is going to do his own thing. So that's what I've said to fans, and I've been saying ever since RTD was announced. That's the choice that you Doctor Who fans are going to have to face. The ones that believe that the timeless child is a sticking point for you and it needs to be retconned. You either simply ignore it and move on with RTD, or well then it's time for, and it's sad to say, well then the other choice is going to be you'll just have to walk away, because there'd be no point of sticking around and moaning about it all the time. If you're done, if the timeless child is not retconned, well then there's no point of coming into the RTD era and keep complaining about the timeless child when RTD is trying to do his own thing, because it's fans are gonna look. Some fans will move on from this and will be able to ignore the timeless child if it's not retconned. Other fans obviously won't be able to, and then you will have a choice to make, and that's just as simple as in. But this show does have a future, and will move on with or without us. That's the harsh reality of it,
And another actually decided. I've actually decided I'm going to give them Russell T. I'm going to give Russell T. Davis a shot. Anyway, because because I mean he's got a good track record with the show in all honesty. And think if I didn't give and I think if I didn't give the new era a gift, that I wouldn't be doing myself any sort of justice either.
I agree with Psychic Beats there. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. To be honest, I think Chibnall might put it all in his little box of its own, so it doesn't affect the RTD. He has to be aware that most people hate it, right? Well, I was told that it'll be retconned, but not in the way that we believe it will be. So I'm actually starting to think that he will put this in its own little bubble universe, and then when RTD takes over, he'll reboot the show and do his own thing. That way, then it doesn't infringe on what Chris Chibnall has done or disrespect what he's done. And I know that's hard for some fans to swallow, but that's the way it'll work. RTD is not going to come back and retcon it and dismiss everything that Chris Chibnall has done, even if he doesn't agree with it. That's not how they work. They're friends anyway, and I don't think he would do it. Yeah. Even though he is pissed at what he's done, that's the way it is. The Adventures of the Timeless Child Monster isn't Doctor Who, just like STD and Picard are not Star Trek. Look, again, as I said, it'll probably be put in its own bubble universe, and a choice you will have as a fan is you either choose to accept that it's in its own bubble universe and RTD is going to do his own thing, or then, of course, it's time to move on from Doctor Who, and then you have all that past history, and whenever you believe that Doctor Who ended, whether it's Matt Smith's Doctor the 50th or whether it's Peter Capaldi, when he regenerated, and that's it. If that's where you see the show, then that's it. But as I said, that's the choice that fans are going to have to face, I think. And, you know, obviously no fans should be put in that position, but I think that's what's going to happen, folks. So I think you will have to, you know, I don't know. I just have to, as I said, there's two choices available to fans at this stage. And, you know, nobody will begrudge you either way. You know, at the end of the day, if you do believe that you can't get over the Timeless Children, even if it is in its own bubble universe, well, then obviously you won't be watching, because there's no point of coming back and complaining about all of this nonsense when RTD takes over, because he's going to do something completely different. So it wouldn't make sense for people to keep harping on about this, if you know what I mean. So that's the choice, man. That's the choice, and it's going to be a hard choice for a lot of fans out there. I don't envy you. I could put this Timeless Children nonsense, if it's put in a bubble universe, I can accept that to a certain extent, but I'm going to watch RTD and I'm going to give him a chance, because I do believe he's going to reboot. And if it's a reboot, well, then in a way, it's kind of like a retcon, isn't it? If it's a reboot, you know? So that's the way I'm looking at it. I think that's the way I don't want to put words in Daniel's mouth, but I think Daniel's probably the same ilk mind as myself.
Because if you think about it, right, if you think about it, right, creative controls out of the BBC's hands as well, right? So it's all, going to come under the bad of productions umbrella.
That's what I'm saying. This is BBC's Doctor Who. When RTD takes over, it'll be Bad Wolf Productions Doctor Who, along with BBC Studios, which is the financial arm, which is a separate entity from the BBC. And I think a lot of people don't realise that BBC Studios is a separate entity to the BBC. And and I already said it here on this channel, and nobody believed me. You know, and now it's being reported by media outlets out there. RTD wouldn't have come back unless he had total control, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And he's going to be in charge, and he's going to call the shots, not BBC. He's going to call the shots. His production company are going to call the shots. So as I said, you know, fans will have a choice to make in a few months' time. Well, actually, in 3 weeks' time, if he finishes this story up and then we see the state that he's left it in, if he does, in fact, tie this up in 3 episodes, then we'll know exactly where we stand. And then after that, then I think fans will have, as I said, the 2 options available to them. There are no other options available. It's either you accept the fact that it's put in its own bubble universe and that RTD is going to come back and reboot and do his own thing. Or, as I said, you know, fans will just have to walk away. And either way, I'm not going to have a go at anybody if they choose to walk away, because at the end of the day, that's your own decision, and you have every right to make that decision. But I'm just telling you now, right now, there will never be a retcon by RTD. He will not directly retcon the Timeless Child. If anybody's going to do it, it'll be RTD. Will be Chris Chibnall. But even looking at it right now, I don't even think it's going to be retconned. I think he's just going to put it in the bubble universe. RTD comes back then and then kind of starts from fresh again. A reboot will never work with the Timeless Child monster always looming. And also an insult to all the actors from it. Look, I do agree with you. I'm not going to lie, I do agree with you, but look, this is such a mess, Arduous, that it's going to be very hard to retcon this.
Yeah.
It is going to be very hard. And the person that's created all this mess is the one that has to do it. RTD is not going to spend his 4 series fixing what Chris Chibnall done. It's not happening. He's even said so in the interview that he done when Piers Wenger said those words as well. He has his own vision. He has his own. He has his own plan. That's an absolutely disgusting comment.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
that, how dare you write that comment? Do you know how many millions of Irish people died because of the potato famine? You absolute fucking clown. Get the fuck out of my chat. Remove that piece of shit.
Yeah.
You disgusting, vile piece of crap. Get out of here. Talking about my country like that. You disgusting, vile piece of crap. Millions of my fucking people are dead because of that potato famine. You dirty, disgusting. Oh my God. Seriously, man. Some people are just fucking sick. Sick. I'm sorry, I did react to that one because I'm not having that. That is absolutely disgusting. Right? My people fucking suffered. Nice to see you, Melina. Sorry about you coming in and listening to me ranting. The timeless child is being bungled up, ready to be shoved into a newly minted multiverse, so RTD doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's good enough for people like Arduros and other fans out there. But unfortunately, I think that's going to be the reality of the situation. That's why I said fans like himself are going to have a decision. He's not going to do that, though. All RTD needs to do is say it's all a dream. He's not going to do it. You need to get that out of our heads right now. He is not going to retcon what Chris Chibnall did. He is not going to disrespect his friend by retconning it. I'm sorry. This is going to be done by Chris Chibnall himself. RTD will never do that. And fans need to get that out of their heads right away. That's not happening. It's not happening. The 60th will be about finding classic doctors in divergent timelines and correcting the timeline changes that caused the timeless child branch. I disagree. I've been talking to a few people that are in the know and have information, and that is not going to be it. The 60th anniversary is going to be a completely standalone story by itself. And then Series 14 is going to be completely different to the 60th. The 60th is not going to lead into Series 14, by the way. So we've been told. All the multiverse crap creeping into Marvel, Trek, Who, etc. is a storyline cop-out. I do agree with you, Lee, on that one. I do agree.
So when the next series be called Series 14, because if you think about it, logically, it's the start of another reboot, so calling it Series 14 might not make a lot of sense.
Okay. You want to play that game with me, Troll? Fair enough. Right? Want to play that game with me? That's fine. We'll play the game. Right? You probably have removed the Troll. But what I'm going to do now is show everybody on this live stream that looks back the disgusting behavior of this Troll here. So I'm going to put up all the comments on screen there because they'll still pop up on StreamYard. But this is an absolutely disgusting individual, and obviously uses the name Margaret Thatcher because, you know, Margaret Thatcher is actually hated by us Irish for obvious reasons. But I'm going to...
and is hated by a lot or Scottish people
Yeah,
as well, but
too,
that's on
exactly.
television.
Even boys, the English as well. They don't like her either. But I'm going to throw all these comments up because this is absolutely disgusting and people should see it when they look back on this stream. This is what I have to deal with. My wife as well, God love her, doing some great reviews of the two latest episodes. And she was getting the same. I suspect it's the same person. We all know who this gobshite is. And the thing about it is, the sooner these internet laws come in and they ban IP addresses, gobshites like this won't be able to set up multiple accounts. But we know who this person is, right? So I'm going to put this, all it is, comments there, right? Just to show everybody. Lee suggested that we do this a few weeks back, and it is a good idea. Just to show what kind of vile pieces of shit we actually have in this fandom. Disgusting. You know, my country has suffered enough, and you get some twat. Right, there they are there now. Right. The problem is, Peter, right? You're saying they're not worth me oxygen. But here's the thing, we've tried to ignore them. It doesn't work. Tried to block them. It doesn't work. So it doesn't matter what I do, right? Either way, these accounts are going to keep popping up. And, you know, like, as I said, ignoring them doesn't work because we have tried to ignore them and it doesn't work. These people are not going to go unless YouTube take their finger out of their backside, Twitter also, and start banning these IP addresses that are setting up multiple accounts, right? That's the thing. But they don't have the will or the drive to do it. It's absolutely disgusting that these social media sites don't actually get a handle on this. It's a disgrace, to be quite honest with you. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just pissed. But them comments about me country are disgusting. So let me see. You've got more chance of seeing Star Trek Discovery on Netflix than getting Michael Sheen, says Lee Halford. I disagree with that because there's been a list of names and he's on the list. So I wouldn't rule him out totally. Very unlikely they will announce the next Doctor until this tripe is finished. But I so wish they'd deliver some good news, says Leland. We'll have to wait and see when they do. I think they'll be banning all of us as well, not just the trolls, as an abuse of power. Look, at the end of the day, something has to be done, Unknown, because this can't continue. It's affecting people's mental health. It's absolutely disgusting. Yeah. Star Trek Discovery has been taken off Netflix, Unknown. You probably don't know. It's going on Paramount Plus. In Europe, it's been removed. So, yeah, it's not on Netflix anymore. It's going on to Paramount Plus, and apparently Europe is not getting it till next year or something. So, yeah, there's been a big song and dance about it on Twitter. Obviously, people that are fans of this, that do live in Europe, are kicking up a stink that it's not going to be on Netflix anymore. So no, it's being removed, Meg. You probably didn't see that, but it's if you put in Star Trek Discovery Netflix on Twitter, you'll see all the posts they've announced it. Aisling B and Pauline McGlynn from Father Ted have been cast in Doctor Who's New Year's Day special. I haven't been on Netflix in ages, so I didn't know. Yeah, they just removed it. They removed it a couple of days ago or something. Or yeah, so there's that been a big reaction to that, of course. Paramount Plus came to Australia this year, says Patrick. Yeah, so they'll obviously show it there. But a lot of people that are fans of this have been given out. They're upset, actually quite upset that they won't be able to watch the latest series now because it's being removed from Netflix. I stopped watching Discovery after the first season. I think I got 4 or 5 episodes in, and I just quit. It was a pile of rubbish. Now, some people have told me, you should have stuck with it. It gets better. But look, no, it's not Star Trek as far as I'm concerned. So that's where I stand on it. I don't think it is Star Trek. So there you go. That's where I stand on that. The first episode of Discovery Season 4 was really awful. But Borman is basically God. I don't really care. I don't watch it. So it doesn't affect me, mate. And to be quite honest, I don't really give a shit what happens in the show because I don't watch it. So I don't care if she's basically a god. As I said, I don't watch the shit, so I don't really give a crap. It's the same with me and Lee tried to do Lower Decks, and I think we only got three or 4 episodes in. I'm not quite.
Yeah, you never
Maybe
completed
Lee will be able to remind. I think we got 3 or 4 episodes in, but we gave up. That was it. And we couldn't put ourselves through any more pain with that bleeding show. I stopped watching Star Trek Discovery 5 episodes into season 2. Jesus, you lasted longer than me, Nicholas. I'll pray for your soul, mate. 5 too many, says Lee. Fucking right, man. We should have stopped after the first one. I don't know what we were thinking. I'll never talk you into Anton again. I know I talked you into Doctor Who Flux, but I'll never talk you into Anton again. Trust me. This will be the last time, mate. I'm not going to do it to you a third time. This will be it now. After Doctor Who Flux, I won't ask you to do any more of these shows. Don't worry. I can't do that to you again. And in fairness to him, though, I'll give it to him. He did do them with me because, obviously, he says, I owe you. Well, you have a point there, actually. We will be doing our watch along. I haven't forgotten, by the way. We will be doing our watch along last night in Soho with Matt Smith. So I think that'll be some way of making it up to you. But we'll maybe probably do me and you because I owe you. Probably do a couple of movie streams, just one-off special movie streams just with me and you. And we'll discuss what movies we do. Maybe not movies that are mainstream. We'll have a bit of a chat and we'll see what movies we can come up with and do a few of them. Star Trek Picard is worse than Discovery. Now, I did watch the whole series of Picard because I was on Rabbi's channel actually on the panels there. Now, you say it's worse than Discovery, though. I'd have to disagree with that one, Nicholas. Even though Picard is awful, I think Discovery is worse. And I think Discovery is worse as well for the fact that, what it's doing to canon. I know, look, Patrick Stewart decided to come back and ruin his own character. That's on him. That's on him. At least there's still the Orville, says Lee Halford. Yeah, I can't wait for the next series of the Orville. That's one show I'm really looking forward to. And Lost in Space 3, as it's called. I watched the last trailer. And by God, did I get goosebumps watching that last trailer. Season 3 now, says Lee. Season 3 of what? The Orville? Or Lost in Space? Clarify me. I only just discovered it on Disney Plus. Yeah, watch it. It's very good. And listen, this is how, look, the Orville tackles a lot of controversial topics. There's the one with Bortis and Clyden's baby, a sex change. And the thing about it is Seth MacFarlane, I have to give it to him. He shows both sides of the arguments, and he does it very, very well. And that's it proves that if you're a talented writer and you really are in tune with both sides of the argument, you're going to do it justice. Lost in Space, I'm looking forward to, says Melina. I didn't know you were a Lost in Space bloody fan. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, I love it. I love the new series. Obviously, I love the classic, but I love the new series, I have to say. The Orville is better written than modern Trek. I'll agree with that. The writing is what makes a difference, says Babe. I agree. That's it. That's the difference. Seth MacFarlane can actually write, and he knows how to handle these issues, because he can show both sides of the coin, and I think that's what's missing from a lot of these shows that are trying, that do these kind of things. They only show one side of the argument.
You've kind of always got to show both sides of the argument, or else it becomes redundant if you show them one side.
Yeah, I watched the original when I was a toddler, says Alpha. Yeah, they showed reruns over here in Ireland, so I got to watch Lost in Space as a kid. Of course, my mother and father watched a lot of sci-fi. So again, as I said, most of the stuff that I watch science fiction-wise is actually down to me parents. I mean, they got me into the Alien franchise, for example, the Terminator franchise. Even horrors. I love horror franchise as well, thanks to them. Especially my mother now. My mother preferred horrors. Lost in Space was quite weak in season 1, but it improved dramatically in season 2. You probably have a point there. I thought season 2 was a lot better than season 1, but season 1 was still decent. It was decent. Give Seth MacFarlane a proper Trek franchise. No, I disagree with that, because I'll tell you why. If he was to get a proper Trek franchise, that would be the end of the Orville, and I don't want the Orville to go away. I think Seth MacFarlane, now that it's gone to Hulu, and there's more cash being injected into it, like most Trek shows, they go for about 7 years. Voyager went for 7 years, it did. I think you could get 7 years out of the Orville. So I wouldn't want them to get a proper Trek franchise. I'm sorry. I'm being selfish here. I'd rather the Orville right now. Trek is dead and buried until Kurtzman and co. are gone. And I wouldn't accept MacFarlane to be working under those guys. So no, I'd have to say no.
I don't think Oxman's go on anywhere soon, unfortunately.
Yeah, just like Kathleen Kennedy. Looks like she might have signed a 3-year extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been listening for nearly 3.5 years that she's leaving. But I knew that was all bullshit in the first place. I mean, the rumors were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to know that, there are some people out there. I'm just going to say it out straight. You know me, I'm a straight shooter. I think what happened was with a certain YouTuber out there, he used the fact that, Star Wars fans were gutted, disenchanted, and built his channel off it, and then start making up fake rumors and getting rumors off 4chan. Because if you look at every single rumor that the person has put out, not one of them has come to fruition. And then when they don't, then he adds more sources to try and say, well, a newspaper article has confirmed I was right. But Disney haven't. It doesn't matter how many articles massage your ego. If Disney haven't confirmed it, even I have a better hit rate.
Yeah.
Even I have a better hit rate than that particular. When they came out, look at this is when I got turned off this person. When they came out and said Taiwan was stopping Doctor Who from being shown, whatever
Yeah, that
the
was
Taiwan
stupid.
rumor, right? And the fact the reason why it wasn't being shown in China was because of Tolson Cole, because he happened to be a black man, right? Is bullshit, right? All it takes is a 2-minute search and you'll find out why Doctor Who hasn't been shown in China yet. The China Film Board, especially when it comes to time traveling TV shows,
Yeah, they're very sketchy.
they're very strict, yeah. So unless it's historically accurate in their eyes, right, wherever which way they see history, right, and if it doesn't fit in with what they see history to be, then it's not going to be shown. But to come out with some Taiwan rumor, that's when I was like, no, absolutely ridiculous. Disney CEO Bob Chippernack has stripped Kathleen Kennedy of 95% of her former projects. There's no evidence to back that up. Yes, few projects have been put on hold, but that doesn't mean that she's being stripped of them all. If she's being handed a 3-year contract extension, Kathleen Kennedy is going nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? So, and again, I already see how this is going to go, right, with this particular YouTuber, right? Because they've already been doing videos for the past couple of weeks and months, already setting up the fact, because they know Kathleen Kennedy's going to stay, and they're already setting up this narrative. Well, she's going to have less power and all of this rubbish, right? That's how this YouTuber gets away with what he does. But as I said, anyway, you go and look at all the rumors that YouTuber has put out, not one, and I mean not one, has come to fruition, right? And they still go around bullshitting and saying that they're right when they haven't been right. Disney have not confirmed any of this. That's how it works. It's the same when I do my Doctor Who rumors, yeah? It's not verified
until they
confirm it, right? And some of my rumors have been confirmed by BBC. That's the difference. So I know what I'm talking about because I'm in this game myself. And then it's always a trope with these YouTubers that do that. Well, I've got another source now that confirms what my other source said. And then you get someone write a an article on those rumors to massage his ego, and then this person comes out, I was right. Look, an article says I was right, so I must be right. But Disney didn't say you were right. So, if you want to buy what people say, then fine, fair enough. But I think it's damn disgusting. I think it's damn disgusting to basically play on Star Wars fans' emotions to build up your channel. Because remember, this YouTuber was small at one stage, just like I was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden start coming out rumors, and then the channel grew and grew and grew and grew. So they made their living off putting out rumors out there. And as I said, not one has come to fruition. It's fact. Lost in Space Season 3, December 1st. Can't wait. Have you watched Lost in Space, Daniel?
I've not actually seen it yet. Do you recommend it?
I personally recommend it. Everybody in the chat, what do you think? Would you recommend Lost in Space to Daniel? Because I'm one person. Well, how long has it been since we had a new Orville? Like 3 years. I don't know. It's not 3 years, is it? Is it 3 years already?
Because I seem to remember series.
Maybe about a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't know. I'd have to check that out. I don't think it's been 3 years. If it has, it's flown in, Alpha.
Everybody in the chat says yeah, I should check it out.
Voyager still works so well. Great stories and characters. 7 of 9. Data, brilliant. Well, I'm not going to sit here and say that Voyager is absolutely brilliant because it's not. It had a lot of filler episodes, but for me, I have a soft spot for Voyager. From Series 3 onwards, I think the show really finds its feet, and yeah, we get some cracking stories. Shattered is one. We've got what else have we got? We've got Future's End Part 1 and 2. Obviously we had what was that one with Kurtzman Smith? I keep forgetting the name of it, but that was supposed to be a whole series arc, but they turned it into a 2-parter, which was a bit ridiculous. The series arc would have been so much better. The Orville doesn't talk down to its audience. Doctor Who start talking down to aimed itself at a much younger audience. The official YouTube channel's promo material, where's
it's
promo
cringy.
material? Where's that comment? It bounced. The Orville, at a much younger audience. The official YouTube promo material feels like Blue Peter. It's not aimed at a younger audience or children. They would be bored and even confused by it, says Unknown 289. Sorry, Noel, I'm going to have to bounce to Gary. They have 10,500 people in his chat. No problem, Chris. McFarlane is a far lefty, but he is surprisingly balanced in what he produces in different series. I agree. They did not nail one rumor. I can't believe I used to sub to that channel. There is too much oxygen and airtime given to other YouTubers and trolls on this stream. It's a feast for them.
I used to be subbed to that channel, but as soon as
year of
to the app, I just thought, what's the point, basically? Yeah, because you're essentially lying to your audience if you put that information out.
Yeah. Sadako, year of hell it was. You're right. That was supposed to be a whole serious arc, but they turned it into a 2-parter. Scorpion was great as well. And Message in a Bottle, I do agree with you. Absolutely fantastic stories there. And Lee says, don't insult Blue Peter. I used to watch Blue Peter, but obviously I'm a little bit older now. I don't right now. But yeah, Blue Peter was good in its day. April 2019, last new Orville, says Alpha Omega. So yeah, you're 2021, and it comes out when? Next year. So you will be right. It'll be going on 3 years. It actually feels a lot shorter than that. Yeah, it doesn't feel that long. But there you go. But I think that's because they moved the production somewhere else, and they've got a larger set and all that. So they were setting up, and think about it, the pandemic also hit. So I reckon if they get their act together, they might throw out, if they do in fact do a series 4, I reckon it'll be less time waiting on that one. Year of Hell sounds like a Chibnall documentary.
Yeah, it does actually.
5 years of hell. 5 years of hell. Yeah. But yeah, look, we'll. I can't wait. There are a couple of things happening, but just briefly. So I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now I'm not going to give any spoilers away because I'd rather you guys go and watch the movie. And I will say this: I would encourage anybody, if you do get a chance to go and see this movie, please do. As you know, as a Ghostbusters fan, especially myself, I grew up with this franchise. For 30 years, I have waited for a sequel. And in 2016, they obviously came out with a version that caused a little bit of uproar. The thing I'm loving right now is the salty reaction from these critics. And what they don't realize is that they're slagging the movie off and they're slagging us off. But literally, this movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, has a female lead. Are we giving out about a female lead in this movie? No. I'll tell you why. Because it's well written, it had heart, it had soul, it made you laugh. And I'm telling you, by the end, I cried like a baby. There was fan service in there. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I think these people don't get that's what sequels do. It's to carry on the story. Of course, it's going to have fan service. Jesus Christ, had they like lost the plot? But I'm gonna say something. The young lady who is in this movie, Mackenzie, whatever her second name is absolutely brilliant. She is an absolute superstar, in my opinion. This movie had a lot of heart. As I said, it made me cry. By the end of the movie, I was a blubbering mess. And I'm still thinking about it. It kind of gets to me because, look at this movie, without giving that away, has probably the best cinematic moment and emotional moment that I've ever seen in the movie. And Alpha has made a comment there which kind of pisses me off because I've seen a lot of people say, oh, this is like a Stranger Things Ghostbusters. Nope, yous are wrong. Yous are wrong. And if yous haven't seen it, yous are disingenuous, right? This was the sequel that we were all waiting for. It is everything that Bill Murray said. Bill Murray gave this movie his seal of approval. Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson gave this movie their seal of approval, and I could see why. This movie had a lot of heart, had a lot of soul, and as I said, by the end, I was a blubbering mess, and it was absolutely a worthy sequel to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. And not only did it pay tribute to those two movies, it does move the franchise along. And I was just absolutely mesmerized by this movie. It was everything. It was everything that I could have wished for in a Ghostbusters movie. And oh man, is it perfect? No, I'm not going to sit here and say it's perfect. You can be really tight up and nitpick at certain things, but I think by the time you get to the last act, you quickly forget those little nitpicky things. They're irrelevant to the end scene of this movie before you get to the cut scenes that they do, right? But the end of this movie is something that, look, I'm going to say this, right? If you're not a blubbering mess by the end of this movie, well, then you've officially died inside, and you might as well just call it quits, because I just could not. I could not hold it together. It was beautifully done. Jason Reitman, whatever his name, Reitman or Rittman, I say it wrong, but he deserves an awful lot of credit. He's kept his father's legacy intact, and it was just beautiful. It was, oh man, it was just absolutely beautiful. He did do his father proud. And I think he did Ghostbusters fans proud. I think Ghostbusters fans, young and old, even new fans to this franchise, he did them all proud. The 2016 version was literally retconned in one line. So yes, they can do it in one line if they want to, but it was Wasn't made a big deal out of. But there's one line. Actually, we've seen the one line in the trailer. You've already seen the line in the trailer where he talks about what happened in New York 30 years ago. That was the line. But this was everything that I wanted from a Ghostbusters movie, and it does move it on. And do I have a problem with a younger generation of Ghostbusters? Or possibly something else could happen, which I'm not going to say. You'll have to watch the movie yourselves. But look, don't take my word for it, right? Go and see this movie for yourselves, right? Because, and the reason why I tell you to do that is because, you know, I want to stick it to these reviewers, right? I want to give them the two fingers, because I've been, after I watched it, I went and I had a look at the reviews of some of these so-called fucking critics, and everything that they said about the movie is absolutely false and untrue. They are just bitter because the 2016 version didn't work. And you know what? They even contradict themselves. Oh, Ghostbusters fans didn't like the 2016 version because it was a female version. But literally in this movie, the lead in this movie is a young girl. So why aren't we to form as these critics would think that we are? Why wouldn't we be giving out about that? But we're not. No Ghostbusters fan is giving out about the young lady who is the lead in this movie. And why? Because of everything I've just said. It respects what came before while adding something new to the canon. And it was beautifully written. It had heart, it had soul, and it gets very emotional. And as you know, I will just say one thing. You do know that the OG Ghostbusters do come back. Now, I know there are some fans out there saying, well, I would have liked to see them in the movie a bit longer. Nah, look, their cameo was perfect as far as I'm concerned. And it was the right time to bring them in when they brought them in. And it was just love. To see Bill Murray again, right? And he's sarcastic. You know the way he goes on in the original Ghostbusters movies? He was like this in this movie. It was just, my heart just melted. I was, oh man. Everything about this movie was just hearing the Ecto 1 blasting out makes me feel young again. Oh man, when they put on the sirens, oh man, I just goosebumps. Just this movie was just everything that I wish it could be. And it was a lovely tribute to Harold as well. Obviously, he was part of this franchise and he's no longer with us. And I cried like a baby. And when I watch it again, I'm going to cry like a baby. This to me was a worthy sequel. It was a sequel that we wait. I'm getting emotional now. It was a sequel that we waited 30 years for. And I just want to say to Paul Feige, fuck you in your 2016 version, and fuck all the supporters of the 2016 version. Yous are rotten to the core. Yeah, yous can't even let Ghostbusters fans enjoy this moment. But you know what? Yous won't take it away from me. And neither will that director either of that abomination that was 2016. And you know what? If the people behind this movie have any sense, they will forget about any idea of doing a direct sequel to the 2016, because there is rumors that he actually still might do a direct sequel to this 2016 version and leave it in its own little universe. I say no. Leave it now. Scrap it. It didn't work. A sequel is not going to resurrect this. Give us the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. I said it last night. Ghostbusters is back, baby. Give us the sequel. Well, look, if I'm convincing people to watch, then I'm doing my job, because that's what I want you all to do. You need to support this movie because of what the critics are saying about it. They're deliberately coming out and saying it's crap and it's soulless and all of this other rubbish. I seen someone saying It had no heart. It was soulless and this, that, and the other. They're absolutely wrong. But people are actually taking the critics to their word, right? And this is what I said on Twitter. Don't even listen to me either. Don't listen to YouTubers and don't be listening to the critics. Go and watch this movie for yourselves, right? And support it. It deserves your support. Trust me. You will not be let down. Good night, Lee. See you later. Have a good one, pal. But seriously, you have to go and see this movie. It was it's brilliant. I was blown away. It exceeded my expectations. Right? Do you remember when I did the first trailer reaction? I said to you guys, I said, I hope this is not all hype and it doesn't let me down. It didn't, and it exceeded my expectations. And this is why I'm a bit emotional. We've waited a long time. Yes, we have the game, and some people say officially that's Ghostbusters 3. Forget about it. He is happy as our sequel now, and it's a worthy sequel. Right? The game is still brilliant. I'm not taking that away from you guys, but this movie was just everything I hoped it could be, and it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. I have to go now, make dinner. Take care, everyone. All take care. Don't die on Fortnite. Daniel, great to see you on the panel. Yeah, I played Fortnite last night. It's getting too sweaty now. Literally, I was playing with Steven last night on his channel, and we kept getting beaten. We didn't even make the top 10. Bullets were just magically following us and everything. It's gone very, very, very bad. So I got a little bit pissed off with it last night. And after he stopped the stream, I stopped playing as well. And then I just put Ghostbusters on and I watched Afterlife. And let's just say it was the best decision I made. But I went to bed a blubbering mess. I did. I'm not going to lie. I went to bed a blubbering mess. But look, I even sent a tweet to Jason. I said, thank you. I just said, thank you. That's the tweet for me. I just said, thank you, because he did everybody proud. And I will say, if there is a sequel, there's only one man to do it. And that is Jason. You know, keep him. Give him the money. Let him make another Ghostbusters bloody movie. You know, I don't care if Dan Aykroyd and the others help him write the movie or whatever. I'll even go as far as to say I don't really mind if they don't turn up for the sequel, to be quite honest with you. Because I think the young actress that has kind of taken the mantle, if that is the case, of course there are mid-credit scenes and all that you have to watch. It kind of has hinted that there could be another sequel, but we'll have to. It all depends, obviously, on the company that made the movie. So it'll be up to them at the end of the day. But apparently, I don't know how true it is. Apparently, it's performing worse than the 2016 version right now, which baffles me. But that's because the critics have been salty. So this is why, if you look at Gary from Neurotics, he's already put up his review. Geeks and Gamers have put up their review. And there'll be a lot of other reviews as well. And they're encouraging people to go and watch this movie. And I would say the same, folks. Don't listen to critics out there. They're all a bunch of salty little feminist lovers that are salty that the 2016 version failed because it had vagina jokes in it and stuff, and tried to be funny like The Exorcist, but or Repossessed, which was the comedy version of The Exorcist, and it just didn't work. It didn't work. It was absolutely a ridiculous movie. So go and watch this movie, because the critics are trying to convince people not to, telling lies. They're not even critiquing the movie properly. They're letting their own biases and their own fucking prejudice get in the way. They're not They're not reviewing this movie fair and square. Yeah, I agree, Melina. That seems to be the case. Anyway, heading out. Alpha, take care. Let me know about Blackadder when you are streaming it. Yeah, no way to let you know these days. Well, Alpha, you let me know, and I'll let Melina know. Or send Lee a message, let Lee know, and then he can directly text Melina. So that's problem solved there. But look, I'm going to stop harping on about Ghostbusters Afterlife, but I would encourage everybody to go and watch this movie. Absolutely fantastic. I don't do go-betweens. Well, look, if you want her on your stream, that's the way you're going to have to do it, because she's not going to go on Twitter when she's been getting a lot of abuse. And she's even been streaming with me, and the trolls have reared their ugly head. So that's the only way you're going to be able to do it, Alpha. Not seen it yet, Afterlife, but will now, says Peter Harrington. I do encourage everybody.
Yeah, same, I'll do the same.
Yeah. It's well worth it. It's well worth it. And Paul Rudd is very good in the movie as well. Very good. So yeah, I'll stop talking about Ghostbusters. We have gone to the 3-hour mark. I knew this was going to happen. Those energy drinks have kicked in now. But yeah, we'll we'll wrap up now shortly. But Daniel, obviously, you said you're taking a bit of a break. You'll be back next year, but I see you've got a lot planned. I see you were talking to Sean. I see that there might be some more wrestling streams coming on the channel. Would you like to talk a little bit about that and let people know what you actually have coming in the new year? Because right now, as you said, you're taking a bit of a break. You feel a little bit burned out at the moment, but which is understandable because you've been non-stop, obviously, this year. But you want to tell everybody what you have coming up next year so you can get people ready and excited about what you have coming.
Well, my usual streams with Charles, I'll be returning to the channel. Will be the discussion series series 4 of series 4 of kind of with so series was I've already put I've already got the first 3 series already reviewed and is up on my channel right now. If you guys want to if you guys want to take a look at the reviews for the first 3 series and preparation for series 4 reviews to start back in the new year, and as no said, I'll try and get Sean on in the new year to do a few streams as well. And I try and get another couple of guests on to talk about some other topics as well. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be back in January on my channel anyway.
Yeah, we can't look at, as I said to you on Twitter, you should be proud of everything yourself and Charlotte have achieved on the channel. I don't like the way you put yourself down. You've done some terrific stuff on the channel. And remember, it started off with you, and it wouldn't have gotten where it's gotten if you hadn't started originally. I saw your passion. I did encourage it. I don't regret that for 1 second. But I think you should be enormously proud of yourself, as well as Charlotte, obviously. But you should be proud of yourself. You've done some excellent stuff on your channel, and you deserve all the support, I have to say. And you've built up your audience. You've got your regulars now that come and watch your line of duty streams. And listen, if you weren't doing well, you wouldn't have those regulars. So that should give you a little bit of a boost, mate. You are doing well. Take your break, come back refreshed next year, and keep going. Keep going, I say, because you're doing very well. I have to say, very proud of you. You've been supporting me from day one. Obviously, you've been on this channel, and as I said, I saw a passion and a fire inside you, and I thought, well, he's not going to be able to always express himself on this channel because there's so many different voices on this channel, and the best thing for you to do was to set up your channel, and I'm glad that you did, and you took the deep dive. I know you've had to put up with some, let's just say, some unpleasantness along the way, but you came out of it stronger and better than ever, mate. And look, I'm proud of you. I have to say, and I say, keep it up, mate. You're absolutely fantastic at what you do. And I know you're smiling there. You're probably a little bit embarrassed by what I'm saying, but it's true. It's true. You deserve all the credit. And of course, you've got a great co-host there that has great knowledge as well, which, you complement each other on the streams. But keep it up, and don't go anywhere, because I tell you, the channel will continue to grow. It will. You're building up a nice audience. So
I'm on. I'm currently on 206 subscribers at the moment.
That's absolutely fantastic. Well, let's hope you get to the 300 mark. If there's new people in the chat and you haven't subscribed to Daniel's channel, I would recommend that you do, please. He's been a great supporter of this channel, but he also put out some great content himself, so go and check him out. And Real Super Doctor on the Ghostbusters Afterlife just turned around and says, Ghostbusters Afterlife made me cry. Wow, never got that from a Ghostbusters film. Exactly, that's what I said. If the final act of this movie doesn't make you cry, you're dead inside. I'm a grown man of 40 odd years of age, and I broke down like a baby. This movie transported me back to my childhood. I relived my childhood last night, and it was an emotional roller coaster. It was. It made me laugh. It made me jump with joy. And this is no exaggeration. I was literally shouting at the computer when I was watching this. That's how animated I was getting, because it was so good. No, I'll go back to the super chat. Don't worry, Alpha. Don't worry. I'll go back to the super chat. And Peter says, don't let the buggers grind you down, Daniel. Boy. He's heading off. Peter, nice to see you, and thanks for taking part in the chat. And Real Super Doctor says, I wasn't expecting that. And as Alpha said, did you read out the super chat? I haven't, but I'm going back up now. There it is there. We'll throw it up on screen. So Patrick says, a $15 Australian super chat. And he says, I was blubbering by the time the trailer 3 for Ghostbusters Afterlife came out. I can't watch it for 6 weeks. I don't know why Sony delayed it in Australia. Yeah, I heard it is being delayed in some countries, which is an absolute shame, because the reason why I decided to watch it, the way I watched it, was because some, let's just say, some spiteful assholes out there are trying to ruin this movie, and I didn't want this movie ruined in any way. So I just decided, look, I'm gonna watch it no matter what I watch. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm so glad I did, because as I said, there are people out there that are trying to ruin this movie. But Patrick, I can't wait for you to actually see this movie, because I know for a fact if you're an OG Ghostbusters fan, you're gonna love this movie. It's not an exaggeration here. And as you know, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is very quite critical. Now, he said it wasn't a great movie, but he did say that the end scene was one of the most beautiful cinematic moments, and made him cry. He even said it as well. It made him cry. I disagree with him when he says it isn't a great movie. It was a great movie, in my opinion. But look, he's entitled to his opinion. But we do agree on the fact that the end scene, the end act of this movie is highly emotional, and it does actually get to you. And at first, I didn't know what was going on, and then obviously there was a close, and I realized what was going on, and the tears were just running down my face. The tears were just running down my face. What a beautiful moment! I'm getting upset about it now, thinking about it, getting emotional. What a beautiful moment! Jason, hats off to you. I didn't take, look, I was quite skeptical. Well, I was quite positive at the same time, but I was, it's too good to be true when I seen the trailer. And then when I saw the last couple of trailers, and remember the Stay Put scene, I wasn't quite happy about, if you remember. I was kind of like saying, no, I don't like that scene. But when you see it within the context of the movie, it actually wasn't that bad in the end. So I was quite happy that that scene turned out a little bit better than I thought it was going to. But look, guys, go and see this movie when you can. Go and support it. You know, it's, look, you know, we're in the age of crap television and crap movies being made. You know, this is one movie that I think has lived up to the hype. And it was just, so Egon's granddaughter is the main character. McKenna really holds this movie on her back. She was unbelievable. Absolutely. I agree. And she's actually in Young Sheldon as well. So I've seen her in Young Sheldon, and apparently she's in The Handmaid's Tale as well. And Cheryl thinks she's a great actress, and she's very good in Young Sheldon as well. But I agree, she is absolutely amazing in this movie. It was a great movie. It had no wokeness in it or agenda pushing. I agree. But I could accept what happened, that it took 30 years later. Exactly. It made sense. It made sense when you see the story that he's written. You know, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just, I know Jason Rittman is the son of Ivan, obviously, right? Now, that doesn't mean that because of that, it was always going to be a great movie. But by God, has he added to his father's legacy and respected his father's legacy, but also respected the franchise, which was missing in the 2016 version. This is the sequel that everybody's been waiting on, and that's not an exaggeration. I think Real Super Doctor would agree with me. This is the sequel you have all been waiting for, folks. I support this film 100% and will buy the Blu-rays and the merchandise. Do you know what? So will I. So will bloody I. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out. I have Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on my computer, on my PlayStation, I should say. But I'm going to actually go out and buy the Blu-ray of Ghostbusters 1, 2, and I'm going to buy Afterlife. And then I'm going to buy the 2016 version. I'm going to do a video where I get a lump hammer to it, and I'm going to smash it up into pieces. I'm going to stream that live as well. I'm going to absolutely destroy it completely. That movie doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Is that Ted outside? Has she got Ted outside? Oh no, he has a tail. Ted doesn't have a tail. I thought my dog was out there. I was like, what the hell is he doing out there? Yeah, say nothing real, Super Doctor, because there are some mid-credit scenes that suggest that this franchise will move on. But the actress, brilliant. Just look, she should be proud of herself. She should be proud of herself. She really is a delight. And you know, there's just some beautiful moments. I don't really want to keep talking because I'll start giving stuff away and I don't want to. But there's some beautiful moments in this, and it was just perfect. Well, perfect is a strong word. Look, it didn't get. Look, I could sit here and nitpick at certain things, right? But I'm not going to. I'm not going to, for the simple fact is, does it make a difference? Does it really ruin the movie? No, it doesn't. There are two characters in the movie that I thought were a bit wasted in it. That's the nitpick that I have. But other than that, overall, the rest of the cast were absolutely brilliant. But she does an absolutely wonderful job. And if anybody has a problem with a young girl basically leading this movie, well, then this movie isn't going to be for you. But this is what the 2016 version should have been. But it wasn't, obviously. But as I said, and Real Super Doctor will back me up on this. This is the sequel. As I said, I'm not giving any spoilers away. Alpha, you'll have to watch the movie and see for yourself. I'm sorry, but I'm just not prepared to ruin the movie for anybody. So I'm not going to tell you who turned up in the movie and who didn't turn up in the movie or anything like that. At the end of the day, do you want to find out? Go and watch it. Go and support it. Give them your money because it deserves to be supported. It really does. I think the ones that gave their money in the cinema for the 2016 version are suckers. But you won't be suckers this time. So I'm not saying who's turned up and who hasn't turned up. Just go and watch the goddamn movie. Well, that's not a major plot point, LOL. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to tell you who turned up and who didn't turn up or anything like that. Why would I? That would be no. I know it's not a major plot point, and I get what you're saying, Alpha, but I can't. Just go and watch the movie, mate. Go and watch it. If you can go and see it in the cinema, please do. Go and support this movie. The 2016 is not Ghostbusters. Yeah, let's just leave that where it is. But sure, the 2016 version is in bargain bins here, so I won't be paying full price for it. So that's why I say I'll buy it, because it's about €2 or something. And then I'm going to get a lump hammer to it. I'm going to stamp all over the case. I'm going to do a live stream on it. I'm going to on my phone, and I'm just going to tear that version apart, right? That movie doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. They could shut that 2016 movie. And as I said to the director, he had a go at fans that didn't like this movie. Well, screw you, motherfucker. Screw you, right? I hope you never get your hands on this franchise again. I hope you never get your hands on this franchise again. This franchise is in safe hands if it's in Jason Reitman's hands, and that's the reality of it. But I wasn't expecting, like Real Super Doctor, I wasn't expecting to cry at a Ghostbusters movie, but I cried like a baby. and you will see why. It was just absolutely beautiful, and it was a great, perfect ending. Just brilliant, and yeah, I'll say no more. I'm saying too much now, but I'm gonna leave it there. But go and support this movie, folks. It's worth your money. I don't know how much tickets are where you live. Anywhere in the world, different prices around the world, obviously. But this is one movie that I'd waste money on. And as Real Super Doctor says as well, this is one movie where I'd actually buy merchandise for. Absolutely, 100%. If I can obviously afford it, I would. But I definitely would. Okay, well, I'm going to work on some stuff for my channel, says Alfred. No problem, mate. But as I said, go and watch this movie. Support it, please. It deserves your support. But we'll leave it there. I just want to thank Daniel for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on again, Daniel. Don't leave it too long the next time. Because I love having you on. I really do, mate. I have missed you on the channel. I'm not going to lie. But I know you've been doing your own thing and you've been rocking it. So, as I said, I'm proud of you. But while you're on your little break, if you ever want to come on, and remember Classic Who as well. We do Classic Who every Saturday. If you want to jump in on that, get a piece of that action, mate, you're more than welcome. I'm not saying you have to decide now. You can think about it. I'm not putting you on the spot. Go away and think about it for a while, and if you decide that you don't want that, that's fine. I'm just throwing it out there. There's an invite there for you if you want to. I'd bring you on any day of the week because, as I said, you've been here since 50 odd subs. So, you know, you've earned your place on this channel. You know that. You've been very loyal to me, even though we've had to put up with a lot of bull. You've stuck with me through thick and thin, and I really appreciate your support over these last few years. I really do. Oh no, you've kicked me off Classic. Alpha, we're not going to have this conversation again, man. I've already told you I'll put you in the New Who panel, but New Who is not coming back until we finish Flux. I've got me panel for Classic. The only reason why I'm inviting Daniel on is because he's available and because he used to be on Classic Who and he used to do New Who as well. And he's been with me from day one. It's nothing personal. So don't take it as a personal thing. As I said, you gave me two choices, and I put you in the New Who panel. So New Who will be coming back after this Flux is over, which is 3 weeks from now. So, well, a month from now we'll be starting back New Who. So you'll be on that panel. So don't worry about it. You haven't been kicked off at him. So I just want to make that clear. So yeah. So Alpha says night, folks. So good night. I'll see you soon. But yeah, look, that's, as I said, New Who will be back in a month. And also Rick and Morty then will return as well. And as I said, myself and Lee might be doing a couple of, well, we will be doing the last night. It's the last night in Soho with Matt Smith. And then obviously then we had a little bit of a discussion. We might do some other movies as well. Won't be officially bringing back the movie stream. It's just to make it up to Lee. We'll be doing a couple of movies just to make it up to him because I did get him to watch this shit show. So I do owe him. Yeah, obviously if I put someone through that punishment, then I have the eye on. So yeah, we'll be doing some. What's going on here? The computer is acting all weird now. But there we go.
He'll hold you to that as well.
Oh yeah, well we'll do it. I don't mind watching a couple of movies with Lee. We'll pick a couple of movies and we're already going to do the last night in Soho, and we'll think of something else to watch. So, yeah, we'll just no spoilers, of course. Yeah. Yep. We won't be doing any spoilers. Right, but I will review Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'll leave it for a couple of weeks because I want as many people to watch it as possible. Because then when I do me review, it will be spoiler ridden, and then I'll be able to talk about all the things that actually happened in the movie and why I think this movie is fantastic, and tell you the reason why I was crying like a little baby as well. Don't worry, it was just really good CGI. I was joking about it. That's just a random comment. Unknown. Yeah. Right, we're going to leave it there anyway. Daniel, thanks for coming on. And don't forget to subscribe to his channel. I think the moderators already put your channel in there.
Yeah, I think so.
And all the other panelists that we usually have on also put their channel. I think Alpha put most of the channels in there. So thank you, Alpha. And we will see you back here tomorrow for some classic Who. And what is the next story we're doing? Just want to see what's the next story we're doing. Does anybody know? I'll have to Google this now. Hold on. So we did Edge of Destruction, but we did also. What did we do after that? We definitely did another story after that. Hold on, what was it? See, unfortunately, a lot of William Hartnell. It was.
You just did the Edge of Destruction of that help.
Yeah, but I think we did a story after that. That was available. So I'm just trying to think.
Oh, you went half you through the next number because it was a 6.
Yeah, it was that story. So it's the next one that's available. So what is the next one that's available? Sorry, my phone is. I'm checking on my phone. Did we only go how? No, I think we did the whole story actually. I think because Charlotte was on and we managed to get the whole story done, if I remember correctly. Alpha, I think we got the whole story done. There we go. I'll go back.
No, we did. You did speak. Use some
Yeah, we did. We definitely finished it off. Yeah. Why isn't it coming? Why is this so awkward on my phone? Hold on, I'm gonna Google it on my computer. Jesus. Right, so I've got his wiki up. Well, I say I got his wiki up. It's still fucking loading. What's going on here with me internet now?
Yeah, seems to be a problem with that, right?
Jesus Christ, why is this taking so? Does none of me panel that were on last week know what story we're on next? No.
I think they've I think they've all left to the chat because Charlotte it's on the panel, he's on the panel, and I think they've all left to the chat tonight.
See, we don't do trailers anymore, so that's the thing.
Yeah, but the Aztecs is a missing.
Yeah, so we won't be doing that because it's missing. Yeah, we're just watching the ones that are available. So here we go. Hold on. There's his film feckin' Yogi. Where's Doctor? Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I just want the Doctor Who episodes, for God's sake. There's season 1. Right. Right. So we done an Unearthly Child, we done the Daleks, we done Edge of Destruction. We didn't do Marco Polo because obviously some of those stories are missing. The Aztecs we don't. So it's the Censorites is next. That's the full story? That's there, isn't it? We have all those episodes, don't we? I think.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I think the Censorites is next, and then we got the Reign of Terror. Then after that. So yeah. So that's the next episode. Or the next story, I should say. I keep saying episode. That's the next story. Yeah, but the Aztecs is not a finished story, Alpha. So that's why we're not doing it. We're doing stories that are complete. Aztecs is fully found. Says
I didn't think it was.
Well, if it's fully found, it's not there. That's the thing. Aztecs is full and key. Yeah, we did key already. You're saying the Aztecs is all there? I don't think it is. Right, hold on. We'll check now. To be fair. Does it say? Does it say? Probably will. Hold on. Okay. I think they are right.
Yeah. So it's the Aztecs. Yeah.
So a special edition DVD was released in March 2013, featuring additional special features, including audio commentary, interviews with original cast, and surviving third episode of Galaxy 4. Complete with abridged 40-minute reconstructions of the other 3 missing episodes. The serial was also included into the Doctor's Revisited 1 to 4, along a documentary on the first Doctor. Okay. I didn't think that whole story was there, because I don't think we've ever done it. Right then. It's obviously the Aztecs next then. Didn't think that story was there, but there you go. Right, fair enough. It is. It is. Didn't know. There you go. Just goes to show. I don't think we've ever done that story, and we've done William Hartnell before, so we must have missed out on that one. Or if we did do it, I've absolutely forgotten all about it. Oh Jesus, me brain. I'm just tired now at this stage. I don't remember doing the alpha. That's the thing. I don't remember. There you go. So that's what it is then tomorrow. It's the Aztecs, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. That's fantastic. Right, I'm going to leave it there before my brain completely shuts down. But I'd like to thank my guest Daniel. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat as well. Thank you to me moderators who had to put up with all of that crap and get rid of it. I really appreciate it. You did it the first time round. Oh, that was ages ago, wasn't it? Now at this stage, maybe that's why I've forgotten. Look, again, it's the next story anyway. You were all right in the chat. I was wrong. Well done. Congratulations to you all. You were brilliant. But I'm going to leave it there now before my brain completely shuts down. First time around, I remember the trailer. Fantastic. I think Unknown has had a few beers. Enjoy. So we'll talk to you all tomorrow for some Classic Who. We'll be on the normal time as we always are, 7 p.m. Come and join us. I'll be here with my wonderful panel where we'll be watching and talking about it. And then we'll be giving a little bit of a review. And then obviously Sunday, join me for my Doctor Who Flux watch along. And we will be doing Village of the Angels. So come and join me for that. And then straight after, we will have the panel discussing what we've seen. And as you have seen, the L panels get very lively. So come and join us for that because it's always fun. It's always fun. Again, Daniel, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it, pal. It's a good night from me. And it's a good night from my co-host tonight, the one and only, the legend that is the Scottish Davros. And as I said, if you haven't checked out his channel, please do and support him. Let's get him up to. Let's get him. What did you say you were on? How many subs now?
216 subscribers just now.
Right. Well, let's get 300 subscribers if we can. So everybody in the chat, if you haven't subscribed to Daniel's channel, please do. Let's get him up to 300 subscribers, as I said, because he deserves it. He's worked very hard on the channel. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna let it all run out now with the trailers. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you.